For all the hatred and violence that they keep Their emergency broadcast system and everything is gonna be There was me, dynamics, and my three Jews, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dylan. We sat in the crew of a milk trying to make up our Orthodox what to do with the evening.
Motherfucking Orthodox Guy, motherfucking top guy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, what happens when you bring 9 soldiers from Brooklyn together?
Listen, if we don't stick together, we're not gonna get anything done.
One second, guys. I am having audio issues out of my headset. Give me 1 second. For some reason, the default changed. I have no idea what it's actually supposed to be. I think that's it. Chuck, you wanna?
You only got a few options there. Pick one and see what happens.
Oh no, I have like fucking 20 options.
Oh, crap.
Because I have audio. I have like my soundboard.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah. I couldn't remember if it was aux A, B, or C.
I went over to about 3 minutes of the other guy, and I couldn't take it any longer.
What is up, Leah? I'm glad I'm not going to sleep too. What's up, Holy Skunk? What's up, No Chaser? Well, shit, I have fun over at Flo's today.
What's that?
I had fun over at Flo's today. That shit was fucking funny. Those people
Yeah.
were ass mad. Well, it was on
Just
the TWs.
Just a little bit. They didn't get ass mad till the dominoes rolled in.
Oh, that's the fun. That was the funny part, though.
Mm-hmm. I know. I know OTW is about to have a cow because these 50, 100, 200 was rolling in. He didn't get shit for the longest time.
True.
I know Paul used to demand half of the money that he made. I don't know if that's still the case or not.
It's just wild to me.
I mean, the man's trapped within himself, if you ask me. I'm talking about Paul.
Trapped within himself.
He can't see out far enough to see back in to see what he has become.
We sound like hippies right now, Chuck.
Do we? Well, damn.
We've already lost to the hippie menace.
Become one with the hippies. Well, I can tell you what we used to do back in the hippie days. We just need a few more girls.
That is a new profile picture, Ike, so I'm just taking precaution.
Yeah, it's me.
It sound like Ike.
What's up, Ike?
Welcome,
I just ain't
Ike.
seen him bust that profile picture around.
Yeah, you gotta keep them guessing.
I got a
Good evening,
picture.
gentlemen.
Evening. I got a picture like that. I ought to put it on my phone if I wasn't so damn lazy.
I wish I lived in a bigger town so stuff would still be open so I could go like walk when it's not a more billion degrees outside. That would be awesome.
Oh, it was terrible here today.
It's supposed to be better. It's only supposed to get as high as 85.
Oh,
So
I'll
like
take that any day.
yeah.
It was
Like
102 this afternoon.
well, I'm happy with that. Like it's getting it's lowering, so it's getting to be pretty good, pretty awesome even.
Did
There are those positivity things.
what you
Did
think of
what?
that shit show, Ike?
Oh well,
that's why
earlier.
I call that's why I called it a shit show.
Well, yeah, interesting. Been working. I'm still working. Be pulling an all nighter, I believe. Um,
Oh Lord.
it's
Oh no.
because I know that the whole Landry thing had happened before, where he got pissed off that donations were coming in and he rage quit. Presumably, that's the narrative. That's the explanation. You know, we're not in his head. We don't know what he did. I don't believe in mind reading, right? But so
Yeah.
that narrative was funny. So I was told. Well, D3 told me that she dropped $100 on because Landry is over on Flow State again, or apparently Flow was on OTW with Landry and these other people, or whatever the hell was going on. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay,
It
so
was
we get to do that, and apparently you, Chuck and D3 were already going back and forth doing the thing, so I came in to help.
yeah, she
Yeah,
said she sent for you.
I gaslit the shit out of Paul's supporters to donate to OTW.
Yeah, OTW made some bread. Flow definitely made some bread, and Google made some money. Everybody made money. Everyone is happy.
Everybody
Oh,
wins.
that's a fact.
Everybody wins.
But the whole anyways, it's kind of funny. And then yeah, I mean, Paul sent $300. You know, before.
I felt bad about that one. I felt bad about that one because I mean I wasn't talking about my money, but I was trying to gaslight Paul into
Mhm.
that, and that's why I said because he was calling Mike a beta male, and I'm sitting here thinking in my head like Mike is wealthy. Like Mike doesn't have to put up with that shit, and I'm just sitting here like, how can I be devious? And I was like, well, Mike has the ability and the authority to like quadruple the support that you do in a fucking one swift movement.
Oh hell yeah.
And like, and I feel like that's the whole reason that he sent old boy the $300 because
He'll
like
get it back.
yeah, he will. That was the exact amount that I was like thinking about, like 400 total because he said 100, and I was like, fucking Mike could do that in a one swift fucking movement. The fuck.
Almost guarantee.
I did feel bad when folks like that's retarded because I'm like, it's not because folks said it's retarded, it's because it's not my fucking money to do that with. So I did kind of
I'll
feel
almost
shitty.
guarantee he sent a text to OTW that said, "Send this back when I send it to you."
But a question like, would it be possible that OTW?
Is this
I
Mike?
could be
Mike from New
mistaken.
York City? Damn.
Oh,
No,
y'all are mean.
it's actually Mike from California.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other Mike.
But like, because like I remember when I was questioning, uh, I was questioning
Oh,
him, and I was just like, okay, so what? Because he's like, oh yeah, like he's a big supporter, and okay, so how much has he donated into the channel? And then it's like,
crickets. Yeah.
and then it's like, and then all of a sudden he donated like 300.
That's only because you guys called him out on it.
But it's I kind of felt like I could be mistaken because obviously this is all speculation. Did it just to like make make him feel good and then make this situation pleasant? or maybe he did.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know what, Mike?
$50 is nothing.
think-
I'm
but-
gonna have to agree with Ike. I'm not a mind reader.
Yeah, for sure. In other words, there's no certainty involved with mind reading, but speculation is okay, right? So I do see the point that you're making there, Mike. And this is just my general read of people and certain kinds of interactions. Like, I don't see Paul as a Paul is Paul. You know, he's wild, is crazy, whatever. You know, I've known people like that, maybe not as unhinged or as into the back and forth as he might be, but he does not seem like an unreasonable person. Meaning, I can deal based on the conversations that he has, right? You know, he modulates. He'll go with the energy of the room, and maybe he drags it on a little bit too much or whatever. But you can, like, you can break bread. I mean, there's different kinds of deals that can be made with different kinds of people. I'm not saying that you're going to marry your daughter off to him or something, right? But he's not like there's some other people who are crazier than way crazier than Paul. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because even with the conversation with him and Flo, there were periods of like them, both admitting like, oh yes, I was wrong, and then he would say, I was wrong, and then 2 minutes later they start going back, and it's just it's good for them.
Yeah, but it's like it's just, and like even the other day, like when he called him, well, it wasn't the other day, it was like several months ago. He called him and saying, "Oh, when Flo made 700, I think." Did
It
you?
was about 1,000 that night.
Yeah, it was like about 1,000. See, Chuck, I even said that shit. Like you have a good memory, and like even fucking Orthodox said it. Said the same thing, and you don't bullshit. Like so, all right. So that very same specific day, you don't bullshit. And like was he came onto the channel trying to give advice, and then when I questioned him about how much he makes, he couldn't even answer it. I mean, he did say about 20, but I thought it was, So in my world, when you say 20, I thought, okay, like 20 grand. Oh,
No, he said $200
it
each
was
show.
$200. What the fuck is that? So, and very clearly, like this guy has been criticizing Flo. I mean, obviously, I think he has a hard on, but also it's very clearly he's jealous.
Well, he has said something about bisexuality on a couple of his videos.
He does talk about sucking cock and all that.
I'm not going there. I'm not
Yeah,
touching that one.
it's just like OTW, like even OTW, like he was on trying to defend Paul, but it's like, okay, so Paul, like I get it, like not everything has to do on money, but like since you want to defend him in terms of like how much money he's making, and he's making a lot of money, then has he contributed to the platform? And then, oh yeah, you know what doesn't matter? And then he was like, oh, and then he mentioned like $200. Okay, like 200. All of a sudden, immediately, like he contributed to 300. All of a sudden, is that true, or like I could be mistaken?
Well, that's why I gaslit the fuck out of him,
Yeah,
because I feel like it was funny as fuck, and I didn't even.
Yeah.
The only reason I feel bad because it was your money that I was doing that with, and like I feel bad about it because obviously it's not mine. But he's sitting here calling you a beta and weak, and trying to get all this shit started, and I'm just sitting here like Mike can with one foul swoop shut you the fuck up.
Yeah, I was texting the hell out of Flo, like, watch what you're walking into. Don't let the ego get in the way. because it
and
was getting wild there for a few minutes.
and then like when they kicked me out, like Flo sent me a text because I thought I was in this platform, and it's like, listen, like don't send anything because I'm gonna start. I'm like, oh shit, I thought I was on your plan, and obviously it wasn't even about what Flo was telling me. It was more like, okay, like you guys, you motherfuckers don't think just because you think I got it easy that I'm gonna be like, oh no, here's free money, coupon money. Like fuck you, like you know what I mean? It's not even like that. Like, you know,
Do you have it easy, Mike?
what was that?
And I said, do you have it easy?
Do I have it easy?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Do I have it
I mean,
easy? I
yeah.
don't know about
Let me
easy.
qualify the question. Obviously, the question is partly rhetorical,
The
but
thing
no one has it easy, right? There's no.
right. It's not about easy.
Yeah.
I don't see it as easy. I try to be very careful because money could be very dangerous if you're not very careful with it. See, the thing is, my relationship with money. I love money, by the way. My relationship. I learned how to see me and money. We get along very perfectly fine. More than women. I get along. You know what's so fucked up? I could fuck women and they'll leave me, but money doesn't leave me. True story. No, no,
Exactly.
no. I know. I hope that you guys understand that. I know it's very complex. The thing is that I had many women and they leave me, but money doesn't leave me,
Well, Ike's pretty poor, so yeah.
and it's just like. But the thing is, I because the complexity of that is just because I had this understanding, and I completely uh, I I've acknowledged and I've been practicing all the time. Oh, I can't. Oh, wait.
We lost Chuck. Oh no, we
Chuck,
lost
where you
Chuck.
left? You know, so like I've you know how like you repeat every time. You know how like your knuckles, so you keep punching, you keep punching. Let's say Mike Tyson, the reason. So I'm sorry that I hope that I'm making sense. If you repeat something all the time, you'll become good at it. You just have to repeat it because you have to retrain your subconscious mind, and you become very perfect at it
Mhm.
because I knew what I wanted to. It's just like, and you become the best at it. And so when you have these dudes coming at me like with oh, you just get away with it because you white and I'm black and I'm fucking no, fuck you. It's like you the only reason why is because you've been trained, you've been programmed, and that's the thing. We're capable of doing the things that we want. You just have to keep practicing and practicing, and then so you know, like I could lose 20 grand and make it up like next month or sometimes next 2 months. No, sorry, next 2 weeks. It all depends. Sometimes,
Let me ask you a question. You mentioned money not leaving. Um, I know that keeping money can be keeping money is not automatic. Um, for one thing, I let me acknowledge what you mentioned regarding the getting the money back. Yes, 100%. There are many people who think of the bottom line. They're like, okay, how do you save, right? And they never think of the top line. They never think, okay, well, how do I make more money? Like because you're not going to save your way into being a millionaire, right? There's only so much you can save, right? There's a limit to how much you can save.
yeah,
Um, but there's no theoretically no limit to the top line, how much you can actually make. But
yeah,
generally speaking, you can say what you want about that, but also regarding the keeping of money, whether it's whether it's a question of investment, put it in a vehicle that's not going to get eaten away by inflation, whether it's a question of self-discipline or whatever the hell it is, or you could just take it away whichever direction you want.
yeah, yeah. And I just want to also make this very clearly. Like, no matter how much money you make, there's always going to be someone who's making even more money than you, and also making a lot less than you. you're always going to be in between.
Mhm.
But I also want to make something very clear. I'm not a fucking millionaire. However,
1 second, Mike. Is that you, Chuck? I noticed a name
Yeah, I
change.
lost signal. My stupid internet.
I just noticed a weird name change between just Chuck and then Chuck in Tennessee.
Oh, really? Huh, that's weird.
Yeah, I've never seen you actually have the Chuck in Tennessee exclamation point.
Yeah, because I haven't been using that in quite some time. I'll have to look at that, see what the hell it's doing to me.
Go ahead, Mike. Tell us
yeah,
about cash
like
flow and stuff.
no, yeah, no. So like the thing is, um, I'm not a millionaire. I have to make that very clearly because when we're talking about like, have I reached my millions into my lifetime? Oh fuck yeah, like fucking probably 3 times. However, I don't have like the million. So we have to distinguish between wealthy, rich, millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires. Like my friend, for instance, she took me. Her name is Christy. She lives in Amsterdam. She's like, "You want to see something?" And she showed me something. And there are people that are even fucking more powerful than anything. And I was like, "Fuck." And then it's true what like 10th man said one time. Even like the wealthiest men you don't even hear from them. They don't come out. You don't see them in publics, and you don't even like. They don't even come out in the streaming world. It's true. Um, they're very
Yeah, they're not in the Forbes list either.
yeah. They're correct, and they're very secretive. Some of them are like great. Like even Orthodox mentioned about like uh you know uh the elite being I'm sorry if Orthodox if I said it incorrectly, but some of them
You're
are
good, Mike.
assholes. Some of them are fucking assholes. They're not very polite. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Maybe they brought out. I don't know. Like, thankfully, I just I guess everybody's different. They're not very humble, you know. And some of them, even me, for instance, they're very competitive, and it's okay. And I get it. Like,
You are competitive though, right, Mike?
I'm competitive, but I don't compete with anyone. I'm competitive with myself. I tend to make sure that the only person that I compete with, I only focus on my own stuff. Thankfully I was able to get a success deal, and I did it within myself. If I would have been competitive with other people and focusing, I think I would have been lost. I think I would have been lost because that's the thing. And the one thing that I have to say, like the only thing that if you want to be successful in life, is just questioning things that you want. What exactly do you want, and what are you willing to do to get it? But without hurting other people. And the programming in terms of like that you have to kill someone and to make millions, and then like steal from others and to make millions. You've been programmed, you know.
Mhm.
And the only thing that you should do is just question the things you want. So I'm gonna say this. I hope I don't bore anyone, but I'm gonna say this. I read a book as a man thinketh, and one of the passive is mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thoughts and shaping what he wills would bring forth 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and will come to pass. Environment is but as broken glass.
Mhm.
Everything is a reflection of who you are. So it's just and I'm not perfect, guys. I fuck up. I
Oh,
got.
really? I'm just
I'm
kidding.
not. I'm not trying to listen. I'm no better than anyone. I'm just a human person. I take a shit like anyone else. I fuck up too. I. It's not like I'm saying, look me, oh. I'm a humble person. It's just, but I'm living my life.
So
but
let me. You've mentioned OG uh,
What's up?
taking the liberty and taking the reins here, but you're tired anyway, so you don't mind, I guess.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. I'm high. I'm ready to hear Ike speak, and then Chuck can
Yeah,
deliver some wisdom.
we're talking to Mike today. So
but it's not about me, please, guys. It's not.
no.
This
Okay,
is
okay. So then
Orthodox.
it's about me. Then I'll take the responsibility. It's
It's
about
about
me.
you.
It's about me asking questions.
But
My
you're
curiosity.
successful. Well, I seen you in the like in the in the comedy show, and then you're making money. You
Well,
probably
yeah,
make more money than me. It's okay.
but I'm a curious person for sure, right?
Yeah, but
And
you're doing you're I don't know if you're dating D3, and if you are, God bless you. Not that I don't know. I'm just saying. No, you guys are okay. You guys, I I just want you guys to be okay.
we'll be fine, Mike. Now let me ask you this. Um,
Man,
with regards
yeah. Sorry.
with regards to you mentioned being competitive, right? You mentioned a certain aspect, which definitely involves an aspect of drive. And by the way, competing with yourself, competing with yourself in the future, or yourself from the past, and all these other kinds of things. Yes, there is a drive involved, regardless, right? And then you mentioned the humility that may not be present in some other people. You mentioned the aspect of being programmed to think that you're going to, in order to get X, you need to hurt some people and whatnot. But still, the drive and the actually siphoning money out of the marketplace, right? I'm a physics type of guy. So in other words, to kind of generate that differential, whether it's a temperature differential or a potential energy differential or whatever,
Yeah.
for money to flow down your way, it takes a certain kind of drive and energy, and there's impediments to the way. Sometimes it's people and whatnot, so that you have to have a hard line, if you will.
Yeah.
So you're saying, okay, yeah, humility and all that is fine, but I don't know how do you deal with a lot of people in your line of work, and how do you, and if
Yeah.
you are, then you're gonna need to either you're persuading them to get out of the way or get in the way, or to be in line, or you're making deals, or you're doing whatever, and that does require a certain kind of backbone and whatnot, or you just slapping backs like Bill Clinton all the way through. If you get my point here, where does
Yes,
the
I do.
hardness come in, right? Pause.
So like very 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 interesting that you brought that up. Um, so uh, so starting with uh my early 30s, I was fucking up. I was basically losing a lot of deals, and I was basically letting the outside world control my thoughts, and the pressure was always getting to me. And I came across a very interesting teacher, and thank God for him. And then I also made some investments, and I spent like $7,000 to be honest with you. Um, this person basically I learned. So the very interesting thing is learning about your mind and how your mind works, and then so how the conscious mind, the subconscious mind works, and then basically learned about paradigm. It's like we're capable of obtaining the things that we want, but we have to basically learn. Once I learned that, and it took me like 2 years, and the reason, you see, the thing is that you have to want it. It doesn't have to see, you could guide a lot of people, and that's another thing about the course, because it's like, this is the thing, like a lot of people, you would tell them, it's like you could beat the shit out of the horse to drink out of a river, but the horse is if it's not willingly to drink out of the fucking river, it's not going to be. And so I knew that this is something I wanted, and I see myself. You have to also see yourself. I painted a picture, and so let me just say this: if I were to talk to you or any one of you guys and say, let's say in the 50s, and say, you know what, like we're gonna have an iPhone or like a picture, you think I'm gonna be crazy? Everything that was built is an imagination. Everything, even the fucking computer that we're talking about right now, is a creation of a reflection of an imagination. We created this imagination. See, what I said, like this shit, like is giving me goosebumps. So I was like, oh fuck. So imagination is the creation of everything. The buildings that you see in the high rises in New York City is an imagination. Someone imagined it and said, okay, so I have to paint. So the dream paints my picture, and I paint my dream. And a lot of people, when I used to say shit like that, people thought I was crazy as fuck. Oh, you fucking, this guy's retarded. Because that's the thing. We've been programmed. We've been programmed to believe that everything is just like, no. Like if you understand what I'm saying to you, basically everything a creation that you want to build is an imagination.
So
I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry if I'm like.
no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, I can do some like, and you also, for example, mentioned Mike Tyson, for example. So for the just for the purposes of general broadcast and whatever, I can do some kind of a translation interpretation and then move on to some aspects that you mentioned that I'm also curious about. I mean, you did mention about fighters, for example, right? And you see shadow boxing, for example, right? What is that, right? Um, uh, uh, there is an aspect of it which involves muscle memory. There's an aspect which involves imagination. There's an aspect, people say things like, you got to imagine the victory and all these other kinds of things. But basically, we do know that there are physiological responses that our mind can give us. And if we put ourselves in certain imaginative spaces, then
Yeah.
we can get these physiological responses and thereby train our body to become used to
Yeah,
that, right?
and
So, mhm,
obviously you have to put it in practice. It's
yeah.
just so you have the imagination. You put a picture, and so what I used to do is I used to put it. I'm giving everyone the secret sauce. So you put the imagination, and then you put a picture, and then you paint the picture, and then you put it in a frame. And so, like Jim Carrey, for instance, look at how Jim Carrey he said he put it in the check. He put $5,000, and he put it in his wallet, and he made it seem, and he projected it. It's like as if like, okay, I have no, I'm sorry, 5 million, or wait, is it 5 million or 5,000? I'm sorry, guys, but he put, okay, let's just put 5 million, but he projected as if 5 million is in his bank, and
Mhm,
then he acted and walked
mhm,
as if like he had 5 million, very confidently walking around. And then his first deal was $5 million. And so it's just, you have to put it in practice. It's not just, see, like let's say even a fighter like, let's say Mike Tyson, and for instance, oh, like his fucking trainer,
mhm,
dude, like he's a fucking pioneer in boxing, an
mhm,
Italian old school character. See, the thing is, the mind is a very powerful thing. One of the greatest thing that we have, that God has given us, is the mind. You have to put your mind into practice. You have to know that the mind is what's going to drive you there. You have to believe in the things that you want, and also put it into practice. It's not just, you have to sleep, eat, and fucking, and dream, and then be it, become it. So if you want to become let's say a perfect boxer, it's just not even training, is also training your mind, but also training your body. The body is the body is the instrument of the mind. And so basically the mind is a you see the body could give up on you, but your mind, if your mind doesn't give up on you, your body won't give up on you. And so if we put our mind into practice, then the body will follow. And it's just practice, obviously practice and practice and practice, and that's how the subconscious mind will follow, and then your heart will go into it. I'm sorry if I'm confused.
Oh yeah, you make first sense. Let me do another little bit of translation regarding along the same lines of walking as though he had the 5 million. Some people may say, okay, well, fine, whatever. What does that mean? But we all understand, for example, in sales, there's something called commission breath. Basically, if you're desperate, they say you have commission breath and you're not going to make a sale. In other words, it's like your breath stinks. If you're desperate for anything in this world, you will not get it. Now,
correct.
you know, there's a line in the Bible. Shout out to Orthodox Guy.
Yeah, sorry.
Orthodox,
I'm sorry if I'm. Oh man, I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. I already took the reins and he gave me the reins. It's the fucking Ike show, bro.
Orthodox. Orthodox.
But it says for those who have.
This is bad.
For those who have.
No, it's good, Mike. I am high just listening to y'all, man.
Yeah. Mike always like checking with and apologizing. Just chill, relax, man, relax. So what I'm saying is, in the Bible, it does say, for those who have,
you like this?
More will be given to them, and for those who do not have, even the little that they do have will be taken away, right? And there are many, many other places in which this thing appears. Okay, if you walk around in desperation, people don't give to you. You don't think you deserve it. You will not do certain things. Your step, shout out to Jordan Peterson, even the serotonin and the straightness of your back will not reflect the kinds of action and projection that will lead you to getting her number, the money, the deal, the whatever, right?
But because the desperation and I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. That was just me just adding again context to a couple of things that you mentioned. Because, for example, people hear things like the Jim Carrey stuff, and they think that it's so foreign. But then when you tell them, "Hey, haven't you heard of confidence when you're approaching a woman?" It's the same fucking thing, bro. You know, it's the same thing.
It is. You know, so just imagine if I were to approach you and try to upsell you something, and you fucking see the desperation of it. You'd be like, you know what, this guy, he's not trying to basically sell me something that could potentially be beneficial, but he's doing it because he needs money. You're not going to look at me as a professional. You're looking at me as a fucking guy who just, you might even, in most cases, some people even, you know, might be feeling sad and they're like, you know what, here's $5 because I know that you need money. In some cases, they're like, fuck you, like, who are you, like, and they throw you off. And I had many people come up to me in desperation and trying to upsell me, and they don't know the understanding of the progressive mind. Unfortunately, even if you teach them, a lot of people will fight to your core. You know, a prime example, for instance, even on this fucking streamer shit, like a streamer, like, look, very sincerely, Fifth, I mean, I'm gonna make this as an example. Fifth, I seen him make $1,000, and he's not trying to make $1,000.
You talking about 5/5, right?
Yeah, 5/5. And 5/5 is like very positive. When he makes 200, he's like, "Yo, I made 200." See, that's the thing. It's just it's more of a gratitude thing. Be more grateful, and when you see like so take the universe. I believe in the universe. If the universe, let me put it like this: when your mom cooks for you, and you're like, "Mom, my goodness, oh fuck, tastes
good.
good."
I wish Mom cooked.
But I understand, Chuck. Sorry, but
I just try.
I'm just saying, like, when you have like gratitude when you curse the shit out of everything, like when you see, like for instance, like you look at the I remember Chuck and even Orthodox, like look at the Thorpes, always complaining, bitching, moaning, everything, and then they wake up always upset. Like when you wake up like with a gratitude. You know what? Like thank you. See, when I wake up, like my cats, I mentioned this in
Blows.
yeah, Flo's shadow. The cats and I, we sit out on the balcony, and the sun is. I don't even look at the fucking phone. I told my company, don't bother me after 8 o'clock. So then I get into the office at 10:30, and this is where I conduct my meetings. See, like the first thing I do is meditate in terms of like learning how to be grateful and trying to calm my body down because I also suffer from anxiety. And yes, sometimes I overdo with the drinking and I get withdrawals, but I try to calm my body down. And you have to be calm. You can't like be nervous and then be out of control and then you know you can't because then the company will not so you have to be in control. And
Let me add an addendum to that. Well, let me
yeah,
place an addendum there in line with everything else that I've been kind of adding to what you're saying there, just for examples and whatnot, right? So, in order for people to be persuaded, in order for people to be receptive, they need to be calm, right? Think of hypnosis, for example, right? Now, if you are in some kind of auditorium and someone is speaking, and the speaker is very nervous, they're not in control of their hands, their feet, their words, their voice, you're going to be agitated as well, right? And you're not going to want to go with their flow. You're not going to give up the reins to this person. But if the person is calm, to that whole point of meditation, calming yourself down, being at ease, which goes hand in hand with the gratitude for the whole thing. In other words, gratitude for existence itself puts you at ease, right? And then it puts you in line to be able to persuade existence or the audience in the room, if you want to put it down to very proximal things, right? The audience in the room will be receptive to the calmest person in the room, the person whom is in control of their hands, their feet, their voice, and they will go along, right? And that person will tend to have or get what they're after. It's the same thing with the confidence that we mentioned regarding, uh, and so just as an example, right, to what you're saying. So yeah, you're waking up and you're doing the meditation, and yes, you mentioned that the company will not succeed if you're not in control and whatnot. But you go ahead. I just wanted to give that
and
example.
also you don't get respect. So like when even I don't mean to fucking mention Lindsay. Lindsay called me an alcoholic. She's like, for some reason, everyone got an alcoholic. Oh, you're an alcoholic. So I have the tendency to ask, like, what is an alcoholic? Define an alcoholic. And so an alcoholic, and it also could be, was another word. Like, I'm not trying to say that just because you're an alcoholic, that doesn't mean that you're out of control and you're losing money. Because what is it? A productive alcoholic? So if I go
Functional
to if I go, let's say if I do business with you, I think you're a businessman, and I'm reeking with
Well,
alcohol.
you're talking about a functional alcoholic.
Correct. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
That's
Dad.
what I was.
Thank you, Dad. So, like you see, a functional alcoholic, but you could, if I were a functional alcoholic, and you smell reeking with alcohol, you're like, you know what? Fuck this mother. You're not gonna say it like that, Ike, but you're gonna be like,
Mhm.
you know what? Mike is not the very person I should deal with. I'm gonna lose a lot of deal. How is it that you think that if I could be a person ideology with the person that could represent the company, and then I'm reeking with alcohol in the morning? You think that I wake up in the morning and they're like, I want to drink champagne? No. I mean, to be honest with you, I love, listen, I'm a piece of shit, like what Orthodox said. And I'm a piece of shit. I am. I love.
I didn't call you a piece of shit. I said
Damn,
You didn't say you didn't
Ortho.
say it like that, but you know. But
I said I'm
sorry. I
a
didn't mean.
piece.
I said it wrong though.
Oh,
Orthodox.
okay.
I said it
But
wrong though. Orthodox. I said it incorrectly. When you called yourself a piece of shit, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. I said it incorrectly, but I meant piece of shit because I love sex. I love fucking drinking. I love fucking drinking champagne. But when it comes to the representative of my company, when it comes to the responsibility of that, and I'm not always on. Listen, I slack off in terms of time, but when it comes to representing the company, I have to, you know, keep up with it and not come there and drunk. It doesn't work like that. It's not like, you know what, like I come in and drunk and then, you know, because what happened is if I were to do something like that, I lose the respect. And then no one would even want to do business with me.
What's up with the champagne though? For a slight detour, meaning, do you you a liquor guy of anything else other than champagne?
I love Vouv Clinique. Ike, try it yourself. Hey, try it yourself. I love going into so like you know what's so funny that what was a couple of days like we were talking about like you know duck fat. We were talking about the types of food.
Bagua.
It's like and then no one had no idea.
I knew what it was.
You know what's fragua?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do know. So like I invited my dad into the Polo. It's in 57th Street. The Polo, and even my dad sometimes he's old school. I'm like, Dad, no worries, man. I'm gonna pay for it. And so, and I I hope I don't sound like an asshole. I'm just saying, like, I hope I don't. I hope that I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anyone because I'm not. I swear to God, it's just you know
You
You just
fucking say
got
what you're gonna
nice
say, Mike.
taste.
no, fuck
You got
that. No,
nice
just,
taste.
no,
just
fuck
fucking
that.
say it.
The homies are the greatest, all right? The homies are the best. Fuck that. You are better than everyone
We
else.
all buds here. Don't be
but you guys
bashful.
like so one of the things Orthodox is a very so okay now not trying to change the topic like Orthodox he's is very talented and Orthodox is very he's more direct than I am and Orthodox he's oh man he makes a lot of fucking great points. You know what I mean? Orthodox is he's a stingray, in my opinion.
Yes, surprising for a country bumpkin.
And yeah, like sorry, I didn't mean to say.
That was
Yeah,
meant to be a joke.
No problem.
Yeah,
But you know,
I joke. I know.
you invited your dad over to foie gras, and something happened, and now you're being bashful about it, which you did not complete. But that's fine.
No. I know. I know that it's incomplete, and you might probably say,
You-
"Oh, I
In other
hope
words,
you're drinking." I'm not.
that's not your dad's style, is what I'm taking, Mike. Is what I gathered from what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm not like the type of person to. Uh, I just like to be humble.
Yeah, you know
By the
what?
way,
Speak.
I,
Go ahead. Go ahead, OG.
I missed the conversation, right? And I wanted to talk to y'all about the Wagyu versus the Kobe, right? Kobe beef, the difference is you can have a Kobe Wagyu, but Kobe beef, or it's in Japan, it's about the lineages of the cow.
Yeah.
Kobe beef has
Yes.
specific lineages from Kobe, Japan.
Yep.
Wagyu is the predominant style of beef.
Yes.
Correct.
The difference is the marbling.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes,
And
sir.
the reason I know that is I used to work at a steakhouse, and I can make a badass steak, bro.
Yeah, there you go. I no nothing more. But even like Sasquatch, he's very good with history. I love I love talking to Sasquatch. Sasquatch,
Yeah, I wish he would have came. I wish he would have zoomed over with everyone else. That sucks.
oh man,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Mike. But you and I can go ahead.
no, no,
I am loving.
no, yeah, no, absolutely. Like Sasquatch, like he's a very like when it comes to history, like I love fucking talking to the dude. I love learning, and so we talk about like a lot of shit, and like even when we were talking about the Kobe, and then even when we in the group, and you nailed it, by the way, Orthodox, and then elaborating that the Kobe beef and the Kobe Wagyu. They only so there's different texture of it, but they stuff the fucking cow with fucking beer. They kill the cow with stuffing it with beer.
Well, they don't kill it by stuffing it with beer, right? It goes through the same butchering process. But you are right. They do feed, they don't kill it. What they do is they get it drunk, they massage it. It's really tender. They literally go above and beyond. But like Kobe beef, like you can have Kobe Wagyu, but in Japan and a lot of the rural places that have a pedigree for doing that. Like Scotland has that. There's even some places in the Midwest in the U.S. like from Texas that have like lineages of like 100-year-old herds or 200, 300-year-old herds that are known for specialty type meats.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the Longhorn herds in Texas, and that shit like you get a different variety and
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can only be classified as Wagyu or Kobe if they belong to that breed. Not
if they're
every
from
piece
that.
of beef. Yeah.
And so like um so like even like let's say T-bone steak, which is expensive, is also seasonal. And even tomahawk steak is seasonal. Even filet mignon is seasonal.
I prefer the smaller cuts of steak. I forget what they're called.
Was
Filet mignon.
it's not filet mignon?
No,
It's usually the small cut.
they're bigger than filet mignon. They're
New York strip.
yes, there we go. New
Oh,
York
New York
strip.
strip.
I
Yeah,
love New York strip.
those
I feel
steaks
like you
are
get more
very
meat.
seasonal. It's like it's seasonal, like because obviously when you kill a cow, it's not like you kill a cow and like, oh yeah, here you go. They have to. It's just depending on the area.
Well,
And yeah,
me and my friend are saving up because we're poor folks and we're trying to take care of our family, right? And me and the homie, we actually buy a lot of stuff together, and we're saving up to buy a quarter of a cow so we can get 2 deep freezers for it, and we can have a big family get together, both of our families,
yeah.
and still have meat for the year for our peoples. Depending on how
Um,
many households we're gonna either buy a quarter, half, or a whole cow.
yeah, I used to buy a half, but it's been a while since I've done that.
They want like $800 now for it though.
Yeah,
I
I
have to
know.
find somewhere local.
Really?
Depending on the who you get it from. Yeah,
That's
Sounds
why.
you can
That's
good.
pay.
why.
Everyone
You
cooks. You guys
you
cook.
can pay. Yeah, you can pay 800 for a quarter if you're not careful.
Mm.
How about you, Mike? You're a
Go ahead.
chef too.
What was that?
Do you like to cook?
I love cooking. I know how to make so like I know how to make spaghetti from scratch. Like I remember like I had oh man, I had a lot of chicks that I would cook for them in the morning. I'm more like I would make them spaghetti from scratch. I know how to make like pancakes from scratch. I'm talking about from scratch. I'm not talking about like
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
blueberries. My father, he knows how
If
to.
you can make
My
blueberries from
father,
scratch, you're doing good.
yeah, like
Shut up, Chuck.
Yeah, like um, I know how to I know how to I know how to make steaks, salmon. Um,
Okay, so you okay? So you're a man of refined taste, and that can put it into practice. Yeah, I think
yeah, I know my like I'm more of a see. The thing is, every when it comes to even wine. Um, so let's say like steaks, depending what type of steaks, obviously red wine. So see, like let's say Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio goes very well with shrimps and
mhm,
scallops
mhm,
and linguine, and so like you having a nice fucking linguine with shrimps, and then you have the nice Pinot Grigio.
mhm.
You know, um, uh, does that make sense, Ike?
It makes sense. Yes, I've been cooking for a long time too, and I do the same kind of things, right?
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
so like
yes
you
to
have the red
everything.
wine with red meat. So it
Yeah.
depends on the palate. Like is Chianti, you have the Chianti, Sauvignon Blanc. So
Mhm.
it depends on the type of um. See,
Food
I have to
farm.
be. I'm very grateful for my dad. My dad is. I I have to admit, is a my dad. He's a fucking. Uh, I how can I explain it? My dad is a very open minded person. You know, he learned a lot of shit, and I've learned in that perspective. I have to give credit to my dad. My mom
Mhm.
also, she's also she loves food and everything. So it's just I don't know if it's an Italian thing. I guess I don't know.
Oh, I get it. Well, the Italianness does not take anything away from it. And also regarding what you were saying regarding, when you said the foie gras thing, you did not complete it. Chuck made a conjecture regarding different people having different kinds of styles and whatnot. Like, I'm the kind of person, not the kind of person I am. I do often take, for example, that comedy show, right? You notice I was there alone, right? Um, so I would,
I thought you were there with D three.
yeah,
It was like
she was hiding somewhere.
she was
Um,
hiding somewhere.
no, I'm kidding. Notice I was there alone, but the point I'm making here is I'll go to like very fine dining establishments by myself from time to time,
I did.
Um, yeah, because, whatever. I often go and I go there to like, and I'll typically just, because I do music too, right? So I'll write songs or do some kind of stupid thing like that while I'm there. But enjoying my all the courses and everything and all that kind of stuff. So whether it's with people or without people and whatnot, I do appreciate the finer things of that sort, and not just in that level, but also kind of creating them myself. That's what I was asking about. You guys
Yeah,
cooking and whatnot. So
and
I
also
understand.
Ike, that was you and at Andros. That's what Donna and Austin, Texas said. Ike,
Mm.
that was you at
I
Andros.
didn't. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, in the chat room, she's
Oh,
basically in the chat. She says, "Ike, that was you and Andros at Andros." On the chat,
Oh, got you. Oh, Andrew Schultz is referring to the. Okay,
Andros.
the
gotcha.
comedian,
So
right?
Ike,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah, that's the
but
comedian, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, doing things like that, being able to
You
appreciate.
seem very tall, by the way.
Um, I look very. I was sitting down. How do you know?
You
How do you
seem
know how
very
tall I am?
tall. We talk about you like in Orthodox. And,
Jesus fucking Christ! You you look like you're like 6'7".
yeah, yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, I'm tall, but someone's got to be tall.
That's right.
Um,
Yeah,
Bo-
yeah.
I had a
oh yeah, but
boss that was 7'6".
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a big
I'm
boy.
not that tall though. I mean that. I'm not that
He
short.
was from Bosnia.
Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
it's not going now. Mm. So you're of Italian heritage, huh?
Yeah, so Ike, you from Nigeria, like you mentioned, because when you mentioned those two cities, I'm like, wait a minute, this is Africa, and you're like, yeah, and like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
so Nigeria,
yeah, born and raised through and through.
yeah, so yeah, because I was asking you which state you're from.
How
Remember
many
that
years you been in
conversation?
the States?
Uh, well, I came over to the States when I was 18, right?
Okay.
So I've been here quite a bit for a while now, but pretty much was in Nigeria, excuse me, the entire time, um, from 0 to 18, with the exception of a trip here and there to somewhere or the other, right?
Yeah.
But
Do
I
you ever?
came. I lived in New York for like a year, by the way, but then I came to California and I've been in the West Coast ever since. And
Oh
Orthodox,
wow.
you're gonna ask something? Did I ever do what, or do I ever go back? You're gonna say?
Two things. No, well, no, partially, but no. Do you ever miss your family? Because I couldn't imagine living in an entirely other country than the entirety of my. Well, I'm assuming a lot, but the entirety or most of my family. Because
Interesting.
It sucked just living like 1,000 miles away when I lived in the middle of the country. My family
Okay.
was all here in Georgia, or the majority of them were here in Georgia.
So I'm gonna answer the question on several layers. One layer is just okay. If you ask me, do I miss my family, or did I miss Nigeria? Did I miss? The answer is no, and it's not because it's like I had the potential to miss, but I did not miss. It's more of the missing thing is not so much not part of my makeup, not part of how I roll. And it can be explained. It's not like I'm some kind of psychopath or something, or maybe I am. Who knows? Uh, the missing the proximity. In other words, I'm a very abstract person. Is one way to try to understand it, right? Hence, physical proximity does not really matter that much, right? Some people may hear this and they might take it the wrong way, but it is what it is, right? You don't have to be me. You don't necessarily the world does not owe me any understanding, and I'm not trying to force anyone to understand, right? So that is one aspect. There's another aspect, which is outside of the United States. And as a matter of fact, also within the United States, also, people travel a lot. It's just that the United States is huge. Hence, the travel is within the United States. So, but in certain places, people are known for just leaving, going all over the place, right? Traveling, seeking opportunities. Um, and that's true of Nigeria. Nigerians are all over the freaking world, everywhere, every corner. And so it's not such a crazy idea. So on that kind of a social layer, cultural layer, what is considered normal, right, if you will, that was already kind of part of the deal. So, but the last one I will put on is, which is going backwards to the whole point that I made regarding the missing. I've always been, I'm super kind of introverted and independent, right? And if you know anything about MBTI, right, I am that INTJ type. It's probably much like the most introverted type, which can be weird for some people to understand because they're like, you do music and you're all over the place and you do that, and you show your face all over, blah, blah, blah. How are you an introvert? Well, I'm an introvert and also rather independent. Hence the notion of leaving my family and being rather abstract, whereby proximity physically doesn't really matter that much. And then also, I'm from a fairly large family. I have family all over the world. And that doesn't mean I was like, oh, I'm going to go see them. Like when I had an aunt in New York, another aunt in LA when I moved to LA that I stayed with for about 9 months before I moved out. Got my first apartment when I was 19 or something. So, but I left when I was 17, stayed in New York for a year, blah blah blah, and then got my first apartment when I was 19. But the point is, family all over the world, cultural norm to kind of move around, and I'm just that kind of person that just is kind of independent minded that way, such that it did not really matter, you know. So I don't tend to look at things as I don't tend to miss uh, things like that. Now there are things that I do miss, but they're in a very tiny category. Uh, and by the way, just you know, this always happens when an Orthodox guy asks me certain kinds of questions because I have to because I know he's a certain type of guy, and I need to explain certain things on several layers and thoroughly, if you will.
It's
Now,
okay. We all know I'm retarded.
I meant the opposite, but anyways,
I disagree with that.
I appreciate it. I
No, but
do appreciate
but
it.
Orthodox, I disagree on that. I obviously, you know, like I totally disagree. Like Orthodox,
Well, thank you, Mike.
yeah, Orthodox knows he's not dumb, so he's
no,
out there fucking around.
I know. There's not many.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like that's not necessarily true because like only reason I say I'm smart is because people tell me I'm smart. Like I don't read books, I don't do anything. A lot of this stuff,
They lied to
my
you.
original thought, unless I'm really autistic on that subject, like World War II, and I've watched a lot of documentaries on it. Other than that, like philosophy and the way I think, I've just like picked it up. I don't really read all that often. I've read a total out of school. I've read like 4 books, and that was The Art of War and The Prince, 48 Laws of Power, and 33 Strategies to War. And I attempted to read the Book of the Five Rings, but I mean, like, I just go by what people tell me. That's why I get annoyed when people like Landry say what they say. It's like I'm not really saying I'm smart. I'm told I'm smart, and I'm appreciative. Like I was ragging on myself about mistakes and not feeling like I'm at the place where I want to be because a lot of the mistakes. And then D3 was like, everybody makes mistakes. People that are successful that you respect, that you know, make a shit ton of mistakes. And I'm like, you know what? And that's kind of helped in the positivity a lot.
Yeah.
And talking to y'all has helped in the positivity a lot. And Mike's message about about self-visualization, that has helped out a lot. So, I mean, I'm genuinely appreciative for the community that we have established here together. And makes me happy. Not to be all mushy. I'll land the floor back to you guys.
Let me say one. Just land the plane regarding the answer to your question.
Something real quick. Like,
go ahead.
The smartest people in the room never say they're smart, and also they never acknowledge that they're smart. In fact, even let's say if we talk about like Einstein was recognized. See, that's the thing. The world doesn't understand them because they're too smart, but people think that they're retarded because that's the thing. And even Einstein never read any books. Einstein was never, and they thought that he was retarded, but look how that turned out.
I appreciate the kind words, but I promise you, I ain't finna write no theory of relativity.
No, and so it's obviously, but but I could assure you that you're and listen, not because I like you, I would be disrespecting you if I'd be lying to you.
Let me tell you something, OG.
I like you so much that I have to be honest with you, Orthodox.
Solid regarding the nature of one aspect, and this applies to Einstein as well. It's something about intuitives, meaning, and by intuitives, I mean something specific regarding cognitive functions now. Meaning people who think abstractly or who look at things, try to build things from the fundamental, as opposed to being good tacticians and technicians, and following scripts, right? These are 2 different kinds of modalities of cognitive functioning, okay? Someone who's just good at like filling out an Excel sheet and doing operations, if you will, versus someone who thinks, well, what is behind the numbers? What's the model, right? So abstract thinkers is another way to talk about this intuition that I'm talking about. And intuition, if you're an intuitive, which you are, Mr. Orthodox, if you indeed are an INTP, well, I think you are. I know you are. So the school system and the way of learning is not built for you because you're not the majority by no means, right? It's built for a more maybe rote learning or the other types of people. So you're going to be left behind. You're going to be asking certain questions that it's just not going to be. You may find maybe 1 or 2 teachers maybe along the way that are kind of built that way or give you the information that way, or they are themselves intuitives that will be able to then turn on a light bulb. But while you're busy trying to build the foundations of stuff, people are just busy operationalizing and learning the operations and spitting back what they learned. And that's the method. That's the typical method of how things go. So you're going to have that experience. I have had that experience too, going through, because as I mentioned, I said I'm a very abstract person, right? So while I'm trying to understand things from the root level, and that's, by the way, why I kind of created this. I have a channel called Prometheus Engineering where I do like mechanical engineering kind of concepts and whatnot. I did it mainly for myself, and also because there was a lack of conceptual material, not even in the textbooks or even on YouTube, of the sort that an intuitive would like, and of the sort that really gives you foundational knowledge. Okay, this is not really about me, but I'm just kind of saying that your experience is not strange. It's the same thing Einstein went through, and not that it's not saying you're Einstein. No one is here patronizing you or anything like that. It's just saying that this is the life of the intuitive, right? But definitely, you're no dumb by any means. The last thing I wanted to say to the answer of to your question is, there is a notion of, take for example, right? There was that I used to do a lot of gigs, like I would like much touring, like every weekend up and down the West Coast, right? With my band. And I remember going to this place called Lompoc, California. And it's only known for a military base. It's like in the middle of freaking bumfuck nowhere, right? Timbuktu, whatever they call it. And I was talking to this guy, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are from Los Angeles?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, wow!" Like, it made it seem like some kind of exotic line. I was like, "Dude, you could fucking hop on a Greyhound and get the fuck out of here." And the idea, he was like, "No, I was just born here and raised here," and it sounded very strange to me. The notion that this guy was locked in this place. Now, I'm using this as a way of, and last aspect of answering your question regarding missing and so on and so forth, Orthodox. Whenever I move, my territory just simply expands. I don't think I'm never locked in. It's like the West. First, I was in one location, and then I moved to the next location. My territory now is just combines those two. Right now, my territory is all through the West Coast and also the West Coast of Africa. Right, so I don't see myself as being locked somewhere. This is not a perfect. Not everybody. This does not jive well with everything, right? Because some people, like most people, are about roots and rootedness in the rather physical sense too. I'm not so much that way. The more I move, whether physically or mentally or psychologically, whatever, the more the territory just simply expands. I don't see myself as being locked anywhere. So that's the end of my fucking seminar. I'll shut up.
No, so I want to elaborate that this is why we live in the greatest country in the world, because this is the planet where you could fucking break free. You're not programmed. The only reason why you're programmed, obviously, is because what your parents and the environment and so if with respectfully with sorry, I hope not offending anyone, by the way. It's not my job to offend anyone, I promise. I'm just saying that, like, for instance, Orthodox, sometimes he's like, you know what, I didn't like did do this and that. We could break all the fucking rules, but that doesn't distinguish you being smart, because in my opinion, and I know this for a fact, Orthodox is very smart. And the fact is that, you're bringing a lot to the table. And I'm not just saying that. I'll be disrespecting you just because I like you and trying to paint a picture of you. I'm not. You see how, like, for instance, Paul, everyone is telling him, "Oh no, you're doing great." No, they're saying that because they hate flow. That's not the case here. Like, you're a fucking smart dude. You bring a lot of facts into the table, and you to me, like, you're bro, like, when I hear you talk, I'm like, okay, this guy is even smarter than me, and I don't even think I'm smart. So you're able, the smartest people in the room is not because they were, oh no, with reading books. Of course, reading books, it's like exercising. Reading books is very necessary. It's just like also like how you lift weights. It's just like you're developing muscles. Same thing with reading books, because you're developing all the the memory, or rather, sorry, the all the brain cells, and it's like more like exercising. Also, learning history and learning a lot. But that's one of the things about this country, that being New York City, as a New Yorker, and every day, and sometimes I do have a love and hate relationship with New York. Sometimes I want to get the fuck out, and so I mean, I was privileged to even explore. I mean, look, I've been to Turkey, I've been to England, I've been to Italy, I've been to all the other places, and I'm telling you, man, like we're in the fucking greatest country in the world. This is the best place. Everyone wants to come here, and you have the capability of becoming the person you want. Take full advantage of it, and you know what? Do your best and fuck the rest. You know what I mean? Because you have the capability to become the person you want to be, and leave those people like fucking like Paul, everybody that makes excuses, every of these people that always blame other people and always have the like this is why,
Yes,
and then
man.
all the fucking like like even in New York City, for instance, like even people of color blaming this is why I cannot progress because I'm no longer that's bullshit. You don't want to progress is because your mind, you're not capable of expanding your mind. You don't have to become rocket science. You just have to develop it. You have to train yourself. It's just like going into like karate school. Like you want to become a martial artist, you have to learn. It's just practice and practice and practice. I don't even get it right myself. No one does. Who the fuck you? You're not born. It's not like it's no. Oh wait, you're the chosen one. That is bullshit. We just have to keep in practice and practice it. Just you have to become it. You have to want it. It has to be in your desires. Otherwise, can you just be the person that you are today? Nothing.
Orthodox, let me tell you a couple of attributes that you have. The one is logic, which, by the way, it's not universal. I'm sure you've noticed that. Okay. In other words, by logic, I mean just regular Aristotelian logic, A equals A, non-contradiction, if you will, and all the things that flow from the law of non-contradiction, identity law and non-contradiction. So in whatever matter you're going to be addressing, and this is why, generally speaking, also things that are not fair annoy you, right? Because it annoys logic. But logic is one thing, and then the other is the ability to make connections, right? So you're going to build constellations out of, you go from one idea, you bounce to the next, to the next, to the next. And if this is not described the way your mind works, you can tell me, right? But I think I know. So, and I'm not saying I know because that's how my mind works exactly. No, I'm a bit different, but I'm a good observer of these things. And I think that when it comes to the logic aspect, you're solid on that. Now, when it comes to the gathering of these data points that you talk about in books and such, eh, you know that that comes and goes, and that may or may not be as necessary. And it's good to sound erudite and sound like you have all these crystallized islands of knowledge and whatnot, but you already have the fluid intelligence, right? In other words, you can make the connections with anything that logic can be applied to. You have demonstrated that both to yourself and to and others, and you've noticed that this is not a universal skill, right? Yeah, I'm sure you've had conversations with people whom are the logic just ain't logicking. They just can't move to go from point A to B to C or make the kind of connections that you can make, right? So now let me tell you something else about the bad side of that whole, I'm just going to gather a bunch of facts. Um, that can lead to just simple NPC type programming where people just gather a bunch of facts and they're basically just propagators of a certain kind of tradition, right? And they don't necessarily, they're not doing anything new. They're not going to make new connections. They're going to just have these things and then they're going to tell you back. And these kinds of people to say, well, I've been doing whatever for 30 years. Therefore, it's like, well, okay, well, but do you actually know what you're doing? What the hell does 30 years have to do with anything? They appeal to different kinds of authority and tradition in that way. So yes, I do also like the notion of knowing a whole bunch of stuff. It's fine, but this aspect of fluid intelligence, which encompasses your logic and your ability to make connections, isn't a native thing, right? And you have enough RAM, if you will, because I've talked to you a couple of times, in order to keep whatever the subject is at hand, even though you claim, "Oh, I'm just high and I don't know what's going on." But you're able to keep that. So just I'm just saying, not to we're not. I was going to be vulgar regarding what we're not doing to you here, but
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, you made me laugh there. Like, well, nah. Here's the thing, man. Like, I really sometimes I really do be just that fucking high, and not able to understand what's going on.
oh yeah, of course.
And I'm just like, what the hell?
And to be fair, Orthodox, I've been drunk, and you see me like I fall asleep. And then obviously they called me. Now I'm an alcoholic, apparently. I mean, okay, like I get it. Drinking is not good, but what is an alcoholic?
Mike, just keep it to you. Only you can call
Yeah, go
yourself an
talk with
alcoholic.
Chuck. Yeah, Chuck said he was going to
No,
talk to you about you know.
No,
no,
and
nobody.
no, and don't get me wrong. Like drinking alcohol sometimes excessively is not good, and I'm not like trying to be oblivious to that. But here's the thing, like you know, um, so to the point where you want to be, and you know, I've listen, I've listened to a lot of people, and Orthodox, dude. I wish you believe me. I think you do. You're a smart dude, man. Like I'm not. Yo, like I swear, like I'm not saying this like to like because I want you to let me in my panel or I'm sorry, in your panel or anything, but I've seen how you interacted with a lot of people, even towards people that came into trying to offend you, and the way you conduct yourself, you, dude, and even more to the story where you said that you don't bring any books and all that. You see, you don't. A lot of smart people don't read a lot of books. I mean, I'm saying that books that is not necessary to read. I'm telling you, and maybe I might sound even retarded by saying this, but you know what? I believe that you have a lot of powers. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. I stand by that. Hey, I you have a lot of powers, bro.
Let me ask you something, Mike. If I take a step back to something that you mentioned regarding starting out and losing deals, and then you mentioned, you found a mentor, you spent $7,000 or something like that. The the losing of the deals, and you don't have to get into any details that you don't want to get into. But what was that about, and what was it like? What do you think was what did you learn from it, or what changed, if you don't mind?
Like losing deals and well, I think one of the things I so one of the things that um, okay, so to be straightforward with you, my greatest winnings when I was in rock bottom, because here's the thing, when you're in the ground, that is where the fucking glory begins, because it's just like, okay, like, Mike, what the fuck you gonna do? Because here you are, no one's gonna help you, and that is where the magic begins, because it basically, it's not when you're see everything that's exactly, Chuck. Remember that point where when Angry was saying that about winning, and everyone wants to win. Like, you see, the success is not in the winning. The success is in the losing, because it teaches you, and then that is where the greatest access and every power comes into be. Because when you're in the bottom, because when no one is doesn't give a fuck about you, when you're no longer, that is where I started growing. When and I started realizing it, and then your mind becomes very powerful, because you start using every fucking brain cells in your brain. It's like, okay. And this is where you become more powerful, because when you have everything, you become too easy, you become too lazy, you're no longer working your brain, everything's too easy. This is why I have exercise every week, because I realize that is if you don't have a discipline. See, discipline is not what I even Jack fucking I even put Jack into the mix and into this bullshit, because Jack tried to say, but when I questioned Jack and he didn't answer it correctly. See, discipline is what you give yourself a command and you follow it. You have to give your fucking self a command. Be like, you know what? I'm gonna wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. That is a command. That's discipline, and then you follow it. So, see, you have to exercise. People get lazy. The problem is that's the problem. Us humans, we get lazy. We get too confident. So when you're winning and everything is winning, you're like, oh, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. And you think that everything is in the glory, and you get to you slack off because you think that no longer. See, that scares me.
Complacency.
Correct. And so I get scared, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes I do slack off. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. It's like, Michael, remember you've been on the ground before, motherfucker. Remember you. So you're getting too comfortable. Remember, that scares me, because at the end it's only me. So what I do is I practice and I exercise. I exercise my mind, and also remembering that in the process, because people get too comfortable and the conformity. See, acceptance. I wrote this. Acceptance is key to success, but not conformity. Conformity is the demon. Conformity could be very dangerous. And so you have to understand that just because you're good today, that doesn't mean that tomorrow you're going to be good. Just because I'm making money today doesn't mean that something could happen to me tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things. Pardon me, I just took a bite of something. But a couple of things I want to mention there with regards to this discipline thing, right? And different people have their different approaches, right? The one way to look at it is, be kind to your future self, right? So, as a result of things you did in the past, Mike, you have a certain amount of momentum, a certain amount of stored up resources, skills, contacts, whatnot. It could be you've been working out, so you have a certain amount of energy, health, wellness. And this is as a result of past Mike, right? So
Yeah.
past Mike, so you have to thank past Mike, and then you have to tell present Mike that, hey, we don't want to disappoint future Mike, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry
so
that I
go
didn't
ahead.
mean I'm laughing so hard. I told Leah that I sell drugs. I sell drugs. Sorry.
All right.
Well, you
She
got drunk
asked me,
all of a sudden.
Mike, what is your field of occupation? I sell drugs. I was
Well,
gonna say I sell cocaine.
someone asked.
Okay, no, I actually, so I own real estate company. I have 3 properties. I'm sorry. I know this.
Maybe the seed money came from cocaine. Maybe that's why you're laughing. Maybe you're
No,
remembering the
no.
days in the
I
trap
don't
house.
have the boss. I
Or it
don't have
could
the
have been the
boss.
cocaine that took you down the first time.
You know what, Orthodox. You want to do business with me? I want to be the next Pablo Escobar. Orthodox. Are you down?
Let's fucking go. I've always wanted to fly a plane.
No, dude.
I've always wanted to fly a plane and then kill myself with 6 bullets when the CIA comes around to the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? That sounds
No,
like it would be beast.
you know what I mean? We could do fucking make like I know Pablo Escobar. Wait, I know that's too way off, but I mean obviously he's making 30 million a month. You know,
You're crazy.
I had a girl was here. And she was like, "No, you fucking sell drugs." I'm like, well, we should think that. No.
You'd be like, baby, don't worry about it. Shit.
That's just a little blow on the table.
Don't worry about how I
Do
make.
a
Don't
little
worry
key,
about how Daddy
key
makes
bump.
his money.
You know what? I should have put like the flower and then like snoring it. I mean, not trying to snore it, but you know, I don't snort flower, but
Well, you put cocaine in your roses and sniff it. But
hit her with that, baby. I don't sell drugs. I'm just in sales.
yeah. Sorry, sorry. Leah.
oh no. There were two things I was
just
going to
wanted to
say.
have fun a little bit.
All good. Let me land the plane on one of them, and maybe I'll remember the second one. I was just landing the plane regarding that aspect of being kind to your future.
What do you do? What do you do? What are your businesses, if I could ask?
I'll answer right. After I land this plane here, that thing about being kind to your future self. Even though I just explained it in that way, where it's like, okay, you can look back to the past and be thankful to your past self, and you want to make sure that your present self is good to your future self. And it can happen in very simple ways, such as, hey, you walk into your apartment, your house, or whatever, and you know, there's the dishes, they're there, right? Or something that needs to be done. And rather than throw it on future Mike, right? Do it now, because tomorrow when you wake up and the dishes are done and you've set up your gym clothes in a particular way where it's going to make it easy for you to do your workout, get your routine going, and this thing has a momentum of its own, right? Where you just kind of you just kind of do more and more and more and cast more goodness and blessings into your future as a result of taking care of things and taking care of yourself. It is a very good hack to have. And then you'll slack off and get lazy every once in a while. Then you whip yourself back into shape.
Definitely.
So generally, what do I do? Right, I'm an engineer first and foremost. Hold on one second.
Like what kind of engineering?
Oh shit! The hell? I'm looking at my phone here. Oh, let me plug it in. It's at 4%. But I plugged it in. But let's see if the StreamYard will suck it before, and I'll just hop on the other phone. No problem. But mechanical / structural.
Okay.
So
that's what you do. Mechanical. Is that your profession?
Yes. Now I can give a little bit of the history, but currently, I have a company, an engineering company called Prometheus Engineering, and basically what I specialize in is in energy and industrial sector. And the industrial side of it, which is heavy right now, is mainly a lot of data centers, right? Which will probably continue for a while, given all the amount of data center, for AI and all this other kind of stuff, and of which energy also is something that you need for this aspect, right? So if you think of data centers, wastewater treatment facilities, petrochemical facilities, even biochemical facilities, did some project with Bayer and whatnot. But one of my biggest clients now is Amazon, right? They're building a whole bunch of data centers out here in North. Well, I was about to say certain things which they make you sign an NDA you're not supposed to say. But
be careful.
What do you say?
I said, be careful.
Yeah, be careful. No one is listening. It's just Google.
It's just Google.
Share what new creations.
They don't even want to tell you. You're not even supposed to say where these things are or what they are. Even talking amongst yourselves, you're not even supposed to say that it's AWS.
Like my friend, she works at Google, and they give her the newest phone, and they make her sign an NDA. Like, you're not supposed to reveal that the phone is. This is the new phone, and they give it to her, and she gets to see what the new phone is going to be. She can't share it, otherwise she'll get sued or she'll get fired.
A little bit of the background, right? So, got my master's in engineering. Well, first of all, I kind of got out of the whole school thing around 2008.
I'm sorry, Ike. When you say engineering, engineering and what? Oh, again, sorry.
Structural engineering, and then
Because I graduated
yeah,
from engineering, but electrical engineering, but is not. I'm sorry,
gotcha,
I don't have a bachelor's.
gotcha.
Right.
I did the bachelor's. Things got crazy in 2008. No job, so I went and I got my master's as something to do while I try to find my feet. Also, right, and after that, I worked on getting my licenses, which a lot of engineers don't do, but you have to work under a professional engineer for a certain amount of time, and then you have to take these exams and all these other kinds of stuff. So I got my licenses in several states, right? And I started my business in 2014, actually, not too long ago, right? What is that? 11 years ago, right? And one of the things that got me out of, like, just let's say, because I still do engineering, right? Like, like, because
Yeah,
I
you're
just believe,
still
because I
working your
enjoy it.
profession. Yeah.
Yeah, because I enjoy it, and I also believe in being sharp in what you're doing. Even if you have employees and all those kind of things, you have to be sharp in both uh, conceptually and also with regards to the modern tools as much as you can. Otherwise, what the fuck are you really doing? But one of the things that made me transition out of just I'm going to be, because let's, for example, I was a bridge engineer for the state of California, Caltrans, they call it, the State Department of Transportation, California, and did some other things in the petrochemical industry. But as I mentioned, I do music, right? And when it
Okay.
comes to performance, I knew that I have a thing about I'm a good performer, right? It is what it is, right?
You're doing the artistical art. Okay.
Yeah,
Performing art.
I'm a artsy guy. Yeah, like there's a lot
Yeah,
of
you,
artistic things,
okay.
including we were talking about cooking earlier and all these other kinds of things. So I used to like to draw a lot. I was going to go into architecture at some point, but I also I can sing and I can write music, right? So and then I can do this performance thing, which I kind of mixed in with my meditation practices, which is, as I mentioned, you have to meditate to be comfortable in that room such that people can be persuaded and influenced and hypnotized by your presence, if you will.
Okay.
And I know that that's a huge aspect of sales or convincing people, communication, generally speaking, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me try to bridge these two things, right? So I decided to go out of one particular engineering role that I was in to go out in the field and be more customer facing, if you will, and do things that have to do with business development, but in the engineering industry. Around the same time that I started my engineering company, right? So that's how I then started really honing sales skills and all these other kinds of things, and just been kind of growing it ever since. And then obviously, you have to have investments and certain other kinds of things that you do, and we don't need to get into those other aspects, right? But there are other things that I'm doing internationally, let's just say, in the agricultural space and whatnot. But those right now, because they tend to be capital intensive, are more on the just throwing money into these capital intensive assets with the land and the building of the boreholes and the wells and setting things up and blah blah blah, such that one day they will become cash flow positive, and or at least you still have the assets that you can still sell, or they will grow in value and blah blah blah. So real estate and agriculture, but not in the United States, is also stuff that I dabble in.
Yeah. You know what, Snow? He's inspiring. How about me? How about me? No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. It says this dude. I'm sorry. Snow said this dude is inspiring me right now. And oh, so I'm not inspiring to you, Snow? Sorry. I'm sorry. Like, no. I'm sorry, guys. I was just me being stupid. She's basically saying you're inspiring, and you are. And then Leah says you are a very impressive man, Ike. Also,
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
impressive. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just being stupid.
you're
I'm
crazy,
sorry.
Mike. Now it's interesting
I
though.
guess I'm being like Paul. Like I'm
I'm the
the
potentially famous person,
I'm
but
the Richard Martinez
po-
person. It's
potentially he
me.
did add potentially. He did not say you know, you know, he's not
That was
completely
the
crazy.
name of the show that Flo was on.
Potentially
It was
famous
a
person. That's what they call it.
yeah,
Very famous person.
yeah. It was a play on words,
That's nice. That's very nice. That's very nice.
but he
And
thought it was a real show about famous people.
but the
Yeah,
thing is, oh, okay. So talking with famous people, okay, which I know that
that
So
channel.
that
I know
was
Eric.
that's the name of it. That's the name of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Talking with famous people, TWFP.
talking with famous
That's
people.
Is
kind of
that
how I
Eric?
met. Yeah, Eric, and that's kind of how I met
Okay.
Flo. Because I met Flo a while by meet, like I kind of knew of Flo or whatever, and kind of like talked to him offline before I ever went to the Flow State
Oh,
channel
that
and
was
now the
what,
Powder Dusty
5
channel
years ago?
about 5 years ago, exactly, right? So
Yeah.
that TWFP crowd with the MBTI, they're into that personality psychology stuff, kind of what they do over there. And the guy just called it talking with famous people because he's that kind of guy. It doesn't mean he never talks to anybody famous. He just calls it the channel that thing. And
Right.
then
Play on
fucking
words.
Paul was like, yeah, Paul was thought
He took it serious.
he took it
He
seriously.
took that very personal. The thing, and then Jaka was laughing as if like this is like almost as if like he what this guy Paul was saying is true.
Well, Jack
I
was
don't,
laughing because he was so wound up about it. He was beating on the table as he's talking. I mean, the anger was exuding.
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And Jack Talcott was laughing, but not to get into Jack Talcott and the because
Right.
anyways, and I'm not even gonna fucking go there.
Yeah. That's all right if
That's
you
a
want to go
crazy
that
vortex.
way. Isn't it, though?
It is a crazy vortex of ridiculousness over there with Jack Talk. You're still awake over there, OG, are you? Because
Are you Orthodox? Are you still with
Yeah,
us?
I'm awake.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
okay,
awake.
good. Oh,
I'm
we
just
just
muted.
making sure. Just making sure
I'm enjoying the conversation and
don't put
speaking
your
and,
sleep.
and chilling.
Yeah, I might light my joint here soon. The things that I'm working and
Are you working right now? Currently, are you in California?
I'm in California, yes. So
Are you working?
it's
Are you
only
working currently? So it should be 1 o'clock in the morning for
1 o'clock and I'm working. As you know, I'm just assuming, right? But you probably work a lot, right, Mike?
So like it no longer physically.
Yeah.
I no longer. So when I used to be in my 20s, I used to work a lot. Used to work 96 hours. My sister is like, "You're a fucking walker." I used to work like a. Even my dad used to be like, "What the fuck, man? You you working?" My dad, I have a like weird relationship with my dad. But anyway, like my dad never killed himself, but I did. I was always the type of
Yeah,
person.
that's where I made my mistake. I was working 14, 16 hours a day for a long time.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, and but no, but I don't. So my work is more. It's more like going a few hours into a meeting, uh, and then having discussion with what's going to be next. My accountant, I talk to my accountant, and basically keep tracks of my expenditures, and then also be in the computer. And also, I have a person that I'm talking with, possibly open another business, but I'm thinking about it. But I perhaps feel like I'm in more of an investor now, and so like my thing is I don't like go into I don't work with my hands anymore. I no longer come into a how could I explain myself? What do you call that? There's a word for that.
Peasant?
What is that?
Never mind.
Okay, but I assume you still work more than the average person. But forget what the modality is. Forget whether it's
Yeah,
just
I
sitting
mean, I
around
work.
thinking, plotting, or
Yeah, I mean, I work in the computer. I mean, obviously, it's not like easy. Like I just but
yeah. And there's a lot of heartburn involved with it. Even if you're just worried about some shit that's about to fucking collapse. I mean, okay, you talk about having real estate. That shit has tenants and toilets and termites and whatever, right?
yeah,
And there's money, there's cash flow, there's this, there's that. Even if it's just having those in your mind and thinking through them or whatever while you sip your champagne, that is working, right? That's what I mean, work comes in
Yeah,
all
yeah.
forms.
It's not.
So
It's not. It's not like easy. And I mean, if I may be sincere, do I have it easy than most people working in a factory and all that? Yes, I do. But it still requires a lot. It's not like nothing. There's no such thing as free lunch.
it's the responsibility, right, Mike?
There's always a responsibility. You can't lack off. The minute you lack off, you're fucked. You can't. Sometimes I even get myself in trouble. Sometimes I do have to admit. But I have an accountant. I do have people I pay that basically to make sure I prepared myself and making sure that the structure of everything. And I have an LLC company to protect myself as well. You know,
Yeah,
because
Mike, I fucked up big time. Just if I may take up 2 seconds here to talk some boring, stupid shit about like structures and shit. Because
no, what are you talking about? No, 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 no. Don't do that.
let me
Wasn't
say something.
boring. No, no, no. Look,
Yeah,
you no.
Well,
I
let
do
him
go wrong. You
finish.
have good people, for instance, Snow, and then you have also. Uh, I'm pretty sure even our Orthodox is very impressed. You even have Chuck. You're not boring, man. You've
Oh
been
yeah. All that. Oh, let me be boring.
you've
No,
been
let me not. But all that is just
yeah,
rhetorical. It's all style points. I know, right? But
yeah.
it, it,
Really.
I have a
it, it,
question for you, Ike. Are you single?
why do you ask these questions,
Oh
Mike?
no, but is that okay, or is it if you want to keep it private? You can say no. I'd rather not share. And I respect it. I'm sorry if it's okay. It's okay. You could say it's a free country.
Yeah, it is a free country. Yeah, I had to keep that private in general.
Okay.
Um,
Sometimes I do get okay. And you know what? Sorry. Yep, my lips are sealed. I'm gonna
Go
say.
ahead, like.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's that introvert thing. But I was talking about structure, right?
You only missing the M, by the way.
Oh
Is
my
your real
God.
name Ike? Is your well, whatever. But you only missing the M. It would have been Mike. Get it? Like you see, the reason why you're
Okay,
you
let
saying
me
that.
answer the question, Mike. I'm not single, right? So I think that's fair. That's good enough to that's not revealing
That's
anything.
good, but there's
Yeah,
nothing
That's
wrong.
satisfactory.
that's satisfactory.
No, there's
So
nothing wrong with that, right? No, there's nothing wrong with like if I wasn't single, I'd be like, no, I'm not single. I got
so let me
things.
let me ask you, why do you ask?
I,
Because
I,
I was about to get into
I
business
think.
structure and some things that I fucked up with regarding taxes, and then you come out with,
Oh
"Are you
no,
single?"
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was interested in that.
outside of the structure of the business, I
Hmm.
think that and so you being in my personal opinion, and guys, Orthodox, and even Chuck, please correct me. I think us being men, women are different. I think the
Well, I
shape.
would say so.
I mean, I think that the shape of a man, also
I
the structure.
fucking hope so.
I think having a companionship shape us. I think, in my opinion, uh, like right now I'm single, but I I had a plenty relationship where I just had to like really cut it off, and because it was getting in my way of my business, and so it's very complicated because like we are men obviously, and depending on the
Did we
companionship.
vote on that, Ortho?
What was that?
I was asking Ortho. I said, "Do we need to vote on that?"
We
We
are
could vote on
farmers. Bum 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 bum.
that. I'm just saying because like it shape us. It could very shape us. It definitely shift into directions, especially if you're involved with someone and depending on the structure of the relationship. So if that makes sense, Ike, and if it does, I'm sorry, you could say.
Yes, for sure, right? These things do affect things. But as you know, it's always, especially given the things that you've said regarding the mind and there's a big, you know what? Let me not, because that'll complicate things a little bit regarding, you know, the psychology of the effects of our social situations and all these other kinds of things. However, let me just first of all say this thing about this structure stuff, um, and it's partly kind of a question to you because I'm more of a I'm a very creative type of person, and I lean a lot on that, which could be a problem sometimes. You know, you lean on certain things that you know maybe you shouldn't lean too much on, and as a result, I tend to forego structure and just go into I rush into the creation, right? In
Okay.
other words, in this case, structure may be okay. Well, the business license, the corporate structure, the legal structure, the tax structure, the blah 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 blah. I'm more like where are the customers? Where's the fucking what am I doing, right? So um for and by the way, there are advantages to because as you know, Mike, there's no business without a customer. In other words, people think a business is okay. I'm going to rent this place and I'm going to have my typewriter and my fucking business cards and I'm going to register it. I'm going to have an LLC. I'm going to have a fucking parking lot. And if you don't have a customer, if you don't have a steady flow of customers and cash flow, you don't have shit, right? And then
100%.
you could do things whereby you know you're a guy selling tamales out of your garage and you're freaking maxing out and you don't even have a fucking name of the company yet, right? As opposed to someone down the street with the restaurant and all the fucking FDA approvals and everything, but there's no one in the restaurant, right? So I tended to be more of that garage guy, meaning I just go and I just start doing things, right? And I move fast and break things, as they say in Silicon Valley, right? Moving at the speed of tech, and that stuff has come to bite me, and I've learned my lesson over time regarding mainly regarding the IRS, right? Because I'm sure you know of them, right? Um,
I've heard
so
of them.
yeah, you know, I should have taken my time and gotten the corporate structure correct, and you know, compliance. You know, the lawyers and the accountants, right? I should have brought in the lawyers and the accountants because you mentioned accountants. That's what where this came to mind, Mike, right? I should have brought the lawyers and the accountants a long time ago. I didn't, but you know, it is what it is, right? We all kind of develop. So the part that's kind of like a question to you is, do you were you more structured right from the beginning, each step, or did you have to kind of go backwards to clean things up and get the structure going as you kind of expand and grow?
Yeah. So very, very interesting question. So at the very beginning, we never get it right. Like I kind of messed up a little bit, you know. I was backwards a little bit. Um, you know, I I listen. It was not easy. I did a lot of research. I follow up. I hired like I had like three people, personal accountant. I have one who I even mentioned it to Flo. Uh, they're very amazing. She works remotely. She's on top of me. She lets me know. She's my personal accountant. She lets me know if everything is off or any expenditures. Um, and basically, she helps me to save on taxes. Depending, I'm not gonna get into the taxes part. Unfortunately, guys, if you want to talk about that, it have to be personal because that is very personal.
None of my business.
But what I could tell you is that I'm able to cut corners in certain degrees. However, I'm not going to get into that because that's very sensitive. That's something that if anyone, I'll give it for free. I don't give a fuck. Like as long as you guys are doing good, I don't mind like talking to you on a personal level. That is, I can't because we're live. And even she told me that as well. But anyway, but however, she's very effective. But I had a couple of them I fired, uh, made mistakes along the way, but I was able to learn in the process, and then continue on learning, and that's how it is. You just so like you, I think that's how it is, right? Like you walk and you start running, and then you start learning how to. And one of the things too that I do have to appreciate is the challenges. Like the challenges, I love challenges because if it wasn't for the challenges, like I wouldn't be learning.
Hmm.
The challenges actually push me. You know, the criticism, like I don't get like I don't get why people get upset with criticism. I used to get a lot of the criticism. Like I had someone, I'm not gonna tell you who he is, but he used to tell me that I'm stupid. I remember that shit. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck? You stupid?" And he was telling me, "What the fuck? What are you doing this for?" I remember that shit. I'm like, you know what? This if that motherfucker never called me stupid, perhaps I wouldn't even be in the position I'm at because it made me like kind of like question myself. I was like, I went back into my homework. It's like, okay, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Why is he calling me stupid? And I would question these things all the time. I would question myself. I question yourself. I would never even question him. I question myself. You know what I mean? It's surprising because like that's the thing. And
Hmm.
I see like most people, even I don't know why example because being in the streaming, you got you know we're in the stream. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bring it up. So when, for instance, Rocky E, you know, when
Rocky? Yeah.
yeah, when he was talking about like, and he said it very politely, like um he was telling Paul, and I think you know Paul was talking about like how this bullshit, and there was like you know respect in the Rocky E. I don't quote me because I didn't say correctly on how he said it, but the thing is that he said, "Listen, I've been in your channel, and tend you said something to me without even knowing me, and you said something, you was being rude to me." And then instead of him like acknowledging it and saying, "You know what? Oh man, I didn't," and perhaps like being quiet about it, what he did was he went and challenged him and basically justify himself.
Yeah, he doubled down on it. Yeah.
Exactly, and so here's Paul where he's upset at Flo because Flo is making money, and then yet he's not questioning himself. He's not like acknowledging himself. All he's all it is, and I don't even know this guy. I'm not trying to say that he doesn't make any money, but see, that's the problem. People, I could have been like, you know what, fuck you. You know what, you calling me dumb? You get it, but that wasn't me. I was like, oh shit, maybe I am dumb. Not necessarily putting myself down, but I used to question myself. It was more like, oh man, and that was the horizon for me. Do you? I hope that I'm making sense, man. Like
Yes. Yes.
that was the horizon for me because I used to be like, oh wait, but it's instead of me crying or making, so I was like questioning myself. Wait, like what am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong. Okay, perhaps I could do better. And I question, and that should make me stronger. And because of that motherfucker, thank you. And today it's different. Obviously, today they don't call me. They don't play games with me. They know who I am now. I mean, I don't deal with that person anymore. I don't know. I don't even know who that person is. I mean, meaning I know who he is, but I don't know where he's at. I'm dealing with a whole different ball game right now. But what I'm trying to say is that because I was able to listen and then internally accept the the fact that I could be wrong. See, that's the thing. Even when I come into this panel and someone tries to correct me, I'm like, oh, okay. I listen. I don't be like, you know what? Because I make more money than you, and you could be really, you know, I don't do that shit. I always try to be humble. Of course, when it comes to when it comes to trying to say the things correctly, meaning like if someone and I have evidence of that I know that I'm right, then I defend I defend it. But if I'm not sure of it, I'm like, you know what? Perhaps I'm wrong. It's good to understand that you could always be wrong. See, the wise men always accept that the mistakes, but the dumb one is the one that thinks that he's always right. Notice that everyone is always fighting, and then look at how all these motherfuckers, like even Snafu and all this, they always say, "No, because I'm right. It's me." And look how they're losing. Look at the Thorpes. Like that's an example. You know, like the intelligent motherfuckers are the ones that if they're knowing that it could be incorrect, accept the responsibility and be like, you know what, I could make a mistake, and nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I made a mistake. In fact, I if I make a mistake, I don't have a problem saying it. I'm not losing anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I, I I hope that makes sense, guys.
Oh, it does, and actually does dovetail with something I was going to mention regarding the work and the hard work and the heartburn, which really came to mind from the whole kind of inspiration that I think somebody mentioned in the chat, right? So, um, some things regarding quote unquote, succeeding or whatever, can be inspirational. Um, however, I think Elon Musk mentioned that, it's like chewing glass and staring into the abyss, depending on what you're trying to do, right? Depending on how much of a maniac you are, right? Um, but it does come with a lot of heartburn, right? A lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, and stuff like that, right? More money, more problems, as they say, right?
Yeah, but it also comes with the initial so like taking the understanding and criticism. Criticism is key to success because
Mhm.
you don't none of us was born. It's like a child. The child is walking, trying to walk. The only difference between us and a child is that we have encouragement. Notice how like a child is like, "Yes, Jimmy, yes, you could do it." We don't have that, right? Right? We don't have the same like. So let's say, for instance, Jimmy's trying to walk, right? But you see, Jimmy is walking, and then he doesn't be like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm never gonna walk again because I just don't walk in. I just didn't walk today." Notice the difference. I hope, guys, you understand what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I don't know how to explain myself very well. I'm sorry, but see, the thing is about the mind. See, however, with a child is very different because you have more encouragement. Because obviously you're a child, you're new into this world, and you have all the encouragement. Imagine if we had the encouragement all the way through our lifehood. It would be so much easier, right? Life would be so much blissful, but it's not the case. As you start growing, as you start developing, as you start making more money, you start losing a lot more people. And as you start becoming more greater, by the way, the consequences of making more money, and I have to say the sad reality is that your life doesn't end there. And you're like, okay, my life is now I could rest. No. And then you know what? You start losing more friends. And then you start having more envious people. And then you even lose possibly even more family. And then now even dating becomes very difficult because women don't look at you as, what could I, you know, could I really love him? And then they're like, oh, wait, he could support me and he could do this for me. It's just, it just becomes very difficult. And then like, it comes to a point where dating is no longer, listen, oh man, the girl that I had, she's fucking, but it, 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 it's just very sad. And, and it's just, you know what I mean? And now you sure eat better. That's the thing. Eagles fly higher. You're not a pigeon anymore. You're an eagle, but then you know, but you're flying alone. I guess that's the price you pay. Everything has a purpose in life.
So there's one aspect of the alone there. You're just looking for like, you looking to start a family or something like that.
I would love to start a family, but I mean,
You're fine with that one.
I would love to start a family, but I'm not just, just I'm very precautious. Been
Yeah.
very precautious for quite some time. I mean, how could I explain myself? It's very difficult to explain because the thing is, you know what? Maybe I should stay quiet. But I see that
Yeah, that's fine.
D3 is the love of your life. Okay, nothing wrong with that. She's
Well,
very amazing.
okay. What would be wrong with that, Mike?
What D3?
No, you're saying nothing wrong with that, as though you know.
Oh no, I'm just trying to be polite, but okay.
Uh,
But I think it becomes, like for instance, like I'm like when I was in high school, I had this girl, and she was in love with me. I thought about like sometimes when I was in high school, and I wonder if I just went along with her, because potentially it was like true love. And so, I mean, I do have this girl who's into me. She's 20 years old, and not that it doesn't seem like she wants me for money. There's a lot of things going on, and I'm not going to get into that. But sometimes I wonder, like, perhaps if I were, I kind of make mistakes.
let me let me just say a couple of things surrounding the topic in general, because it's a thing that's out there. It doesn't have to be about Mike specifically, right? Um, and you mentioned having experience with different people and all that, and one could go to a particular extreme, especially, and I think it's extreme for a man the more they start going in this direction of, oh, well, would you love me if I was a worm, or blah blah blah. Because as a matter of fact, and you believe this given what you want out of yourself in life, that a man is supposed to be competent, right? It's not right to the best of their ability. It doesn't mean you have to be. It doesn't mean there's no rises and falling, and it doesn't mean that you're at peak form all the time, or it doesn't mean that bad things can happen to you. But you're not supposed to be a fucking bitch ass nigga, right? You're not supposed to be a fucking loser. Okay. So the point is, yes, 100%. A woman should want a competent man. Would you agree, Mike?
Yeah, that I do agree. Yeah.
So now the question then is, there's a lot of words out there in society. A phrase, for example, like gold digger comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
Um, and people's opinions and stuff like that, that tends to then cloud the issue. And then there's questions that people may ask about, well, why is this person blah blah blah. What is the nature of your uncertainty there? So if you agree that yes, of course, yeah, no, you're not supposed to like me if I was a bitch ass nigga that was just a loser and I was homeless, right? Without, not that I could not be homeless tomorrow, but if you see me and talk to me for 2 minutes, you're gonna know, okay, well, he's not gonna be homeless forever, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
And
go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, and that's what I'm referring. That when I was in high school, it was different because it was like high school. Like the girl wasn't looking at the time. Like, and obviously, who knows if I would have been. I kind of thought about that one person that she was into me, and who knows, I could have been married. See that to me, but then who I can't talk shit because who knows? Maybe perhaps I would not be the man I am if I would have been involved with her at the same time. So, but think of exactly what you're saying, right? Like, right? Like, not potentially being the person and being the provider, but then yet, like, having a girl because, like, I had plenty of fucking gorgeous women, but they're like, honey, can you buy me a Rolex? and I'm like, and then I ditch her and I leave her, not necessarily because I cannot afford it. It's just
You should hit her with that. How about no? And then kick her
like,
out, and then
like,
kick her out of your Lambo at
What? Yeah.
120.
What part of no don't you understand?
like I had this, like, oh my god, like I had this, oh my god, like I had this fucking hot, like hot Asian chick. She was fucking hot, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a cheapskate. I would take her to dinner. I would treat her really. She's like, and we went to the beach, and she's like, "Oh, I want this dress. What do you thought?" I'm like, "Okay, take it. It's like 150. It's not that much. I mean, it's not that cheap, but it's not like expensive." But then she asked me for like a ridiculous amount of money, and she was like, "Okay, like let's meet on Tuesday." I'm like, "Sure," and she was like, let's meet on Central Park, and you'll help me, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And I left her flat. I left her there. She waited.
Because she wanted to meet in Central Park. What? What?
She waited for me in
She
Central
sound
Park.
like a gold digger to me.
It sounds like a gold digger, correct? But I left her flat. I left her there. I'm like, okay, you should be satisfied. Like, to me, sure, we had sex. You know what? Like, I it's not like I didn't give you anything. She had good dinner.
There was a joke there, but I'm not going to tell.
He said
You gave her the
I gave her
the
stuff.
D.
I
You
mean, I
gave
gave
her
her
the
the
D, and you sent her on her way.
Yeah, I mean,
Dine and ditch.
but I treated her like a queen. Don't get me wrong. I treated her like, and then I gave her a nice like,
Dick.
a nice bathing suit. Not just dick, but no, but of course she's gonna complain and bitch because
He gave her the schmeat and eat.
but like I did, like,
As long as he didn't surrender to starfish.
yeah. I mean, I treated her really nice. It was, but like I said, it becomes very difficult because when they come to my apartment, like, ooh, bling bling, and it's like, oh, like it's very fucking difficult. It becomes very difficult as you start growing, and that's the thing, is it makes me really sad, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna be very honest, guys. Like, as you start elevating, and that's the price you pay, and that's the thing, and everything becomes kind of difficult around you.
Lady
You no
Casey asked a
longer,
question in the chat, and I wanna. So you said take them to your apartment. She asked about flashing money or flashing something, right? Do they have to go to your apartment if your apartment is
I
all
mean,
blinged out?
they don't have to come to my apartment. I'm just saying, when I do bring them
Okay.
into the premises, that like they say, okay, this motherfucker, oh, like, especially in New York City, you when they see like a 4-bedroom place, and I'm living by myself with my cats, and then the way I'm living, it's like, okay, like, clearly it doesn't take rocket science to know, like, I don't even know how. I'm sorry if I'm not making any sense.
Oh no, you're making perfect sense. Yeah, but we're in the thick of it here, so we're trying to like hash out a few things that, again, this is not necessarily about Mike, right? This is tale as old as time, right? So, so the thing is, when somebody sees nice things, they're supposed to be glad that it's nice, and notice that it's nice, and it's not supposed to be repulsive that
Yeah,
you have a nice place. So,
correct.
what is the bad part then? In other words, like what you know?
You
It's
know,
that I
yeah,
think he's saying they fawn too much over the
Mhm.
things when they see them, as
Okay,
opposed to appreciating them. They they get the dollar sign twinkle in their eye. If I'm understanding him
yeah,
right.
correct. So we're no longer in that generation where it's like, you know what, this could be a potential man. We could have a family. Obviously, money's important. It's not that I'm not saying that a woman, can't see security, but like, in the sense of like, how can I explain it? Like, in the sense of like, having something where long term, they say short term. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah. So have you considered, because this is one factor, right? So there's just all these crazy other factors, and then there's this notion of, okay, well, how about having finding a woman that is also, I don't know, maybe she has a 2 bedroom, maybe it's not a 4 bedroom apartment somewhere in Midtown or whatever, but someone that's doing that. So what's the issue with that crowd?
No,
Because every crowd has their issues, right?
but very interesting. So like like my dad, for instance, he's like my dad, and I like that. Like I guess I also fuck it up because I'm very picky as well. It's just like
I can attest to that.
like I'm not. I love Caucasian women. I mean, I like I man. I'm not saying that I don't like date minorities. Like, but they say I'm not into black women. It's not my cup of tea. No offense. Uh, but uh, the thing is that I've the women I like try to interact with, not just also obviously the physicality is important, but it's more like intellectual, and then obviously what she brings into intelligence and education, and especially when we went out, like the last girl, like she was here a couple of days ago, and she wants to come next weekend and trying things out, but very smart, like very fucking hot. My goodness, she's very hot. Um, very, but I'm a little bit scared because she told me about like how she has problems. I'm talking about money wise. I'm like, oh fuck. I just hope that it's not that I don't want to help anyone, and it's not like but I just don't want it to fall to the point where it's just like me, like only being a money mule. I don't want to be in that category. It's not me being a money mule, and that's the only thing that is going to string the relationship. But the thing is, like we had a very fucking fascinating conversation. I don't know if you guys know what City Island is. City Island, it's in the Bronx. It's like City Island is in an island with the city. It's in the Bronx. Very interesting. Guys, try it out if you come to New York. So she was fascinated by it, and she loved it. And we had very intelligent.
Did you just meet this girl?
I didn't meet her. Like I talked to her, but she basically came over. I met her, but how do you explain it? Like I
Well,
met her
how long have you known her
for like
or
2 weeks.
known of her?
2 weeks, and then she came, and
And she's already telling you she's in financial dire.
yeah, she was telling me about like, but her dad is, like he had a heart attack, which is understanding. But she's like, oh, I need help with rent and all that. And to me, that's just like, okay, I get that your dad, and she's living with her dad. I like the intelligence of the conversation. Like the conversation was amazing. The sex is phenomenal. The girl, like, like the guy's like looking at the girl like, oh, she's fucking hot. I like that. There's nothing wrong with that. We us men, we love that shit. But and the conversation like is amazing. That's another thing too. I like my women to speak English, even though I know three languages.
Well, that helps.
I mean, no, I don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so. Look, I speak three languages, but the thing is, I do prefer. I do want my woman, even though she speaks Spanish. So the 20-year-old, she doesn't. She speaks English, but she's not too well. So sometimes I have to kind of. But she's, oh man, I get myself in trouble. It's just like I see myself like having like a woman that is very smart, and one day we have kids, and then we could train our kids, and then I don't know. That's how I see it. And the thing is, like, this
OG,
person,
break out that summer dress.
yeah,
So English, Italian, and what's your third language?
I speak Spanish.
Oh, okay. Oh, it makes sense. Makes sense.
But like the thing is that she's Italian as well. Speaks a little Italian, but she speaks more English, and very smart. And I really did enjoy her, but I'm a little bit afraid. She wants to come this weekend, but she says she's willing to push it for the next weekend if I have other things going on. She was willing to stay. She's in Ohio. She did ask me if I didn't mind like buying her ticket from the plane. I'm like, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't mind. Like it's like $300 or something like that. That doesn't bother me because she's gonna spend time with me. I'm not a
Let me
cheapskate.
check my schedule. I think I'm available.
You want to fly out, Chuck, to me?
I just lightened it enough a bit.
Yeah, but I can't believe I'm talking about me. It's not about me. This is not supposed to be about me, man.
This is. I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is what I do. By the way, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I got OG. Anyways, I'm going to shut up about it. But
Yeah, OG. It's like OG. This is you, and I'm thinking it's. I didn't mean. OG.
But
Sorry,
you-
man.
you-
Orthodox.
you're speaking about yourself
Sorry, guys.
willingly and openly. I noticed you rarely do that. I'm patting myself in the back right now, but this is what I do, Mike.
Yeah, and
I
so,
get people
like,
to open up.
but like, no, it's so like I appreciate it, and give me the opportunity and talk and stuff, and hopefully that people, I would hope that someone is learning from this, and not like because you know what, at the end I don't care, but people could basically, criticize me for it. I mean, I don't give a fuck, but or they could learn from this and be like, you know what, like let me learn from this and try to, because the results is like I see this motherfucker like he seems like he has good results. So wow, you know what, like not necessarily for that person to become like me, but more like to learn, like because you don't have to become me, but you could be better at what you want to do. Any like person who's productive would think that way. See, that was me because I seen a lot of people that were successful, and I used to be like, why is this person successful? And I never was upset. I mean, I used to be sad. I used to be sad because I was not successful, but I was. Yeah.
I got different definition for success than I think you do.
All
You
right.
can be successful at any stage in life, in my opinion, because it's
That's
an
true.
inside thing. Fuck other people's perception. If
That's
you're
true.
happy, if you got everything you need in life, not everything that you want, but if you got your needs met and you got a good relationship or not, but you're at a place in your life where you feel good about yourself, no matter if you're on the bottom of the pile or on top of the pile. I just say fuck the outsiders, what they think. I don't let it make much sense. I'm getting
No,
tired.
you're making sense.
But OG, Orthodox Guy, if you're still there, and if you're not completely blasted into the fucking black hole horizon,
I'm
um,
here.
do you have anything to add regarding this aspects of the things that Mr. and perhaps not from experience, but just from a logical point of view, the things that have been discussed regarding, okay, Well, yes, a man should be competent, right? I don't think there's anyone here on this panel, at least, that believes that, oh, you should love me for me and my fucking loser self. Like, you should have something about you that makes you a fucking, whatever. After all, but then there's this aspect of, okay, what do they want from me, and all these other kinds of things. Do you have anything to add? I'm just curious, based on what you've been here.
No, I don't. I'm just mulling it over and looking at it as mentorship, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just want to say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, success is the progression, realization of a worthy idea. Just that was said before.
To who?
Sorry, my success could define anything. I'm sorry, Orthodox. I was rude. Fuck. I'm sorry, because we're success is defined in every. They say, oh, anything can be success, but success is basically is a progressive realization of a worthy idea. Whatever worthy idea you have in your mind, and whatever you construct of it, that's what you become success. But sorry, Orthodox.
Yeah, no, but let me.
Mike-
Orthodox is chilling and listen. He's in listen mode today, and I already at the beginning told him, hey, you can give me the reins and you can relax and chill. It's the Ike show today.
Yeah, the Ike. It's been the Ike show, but it's not been my show. It's been
Yeah, the Ike show is Ike being curious and asking questions. And last time with the Ike show, I got Orthodox to talk about his racism. I'm just kidding.
Orthodox. Like, I want to hear you. I would like to hear.
Let's hear that racism, Orthodox.
But overall, no,
I just want my hatred to be pure, okay? I don't like it. I don't like it mixed in with all this frivolous things, and I just want there to be beautiful reason.
You want pure hatred, huh?
Yes, there's
Damn.
something beautiful about
Yeah,
it. Sorry.
yeah. I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want people's hatred muddled
night.
by their own lack of self-worth. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be the best they can be so they can be God's strongest hater. I kid. But I'll hand it back over to Ike and you guys because you guys are doing a good job.
So yeah, Ike is actually doing an amazing job asking questions. You know what I mean? But I kind of
let me make a gear shift, and that we'll probably then things will circle to somewhere, because we've been going along, and need I remind ourselves and everyone. Basically, I started out by asking about this kind of business thing, right? The idea of success, right? The idea of establishing oneself, what it takes, and all these other kinds of things. So I'm going to ask you like a silly practical question, like one of these podcast questions, right? So what would you tell somebody that's trying to get into real estate, in maybe it's in New York, maybe it's somewhere else, they're trying to get into real estate? What would you tell them? Step 1, step 2, or mindset 1, mindset 2, or don't do it? What would you say?
So for I was gonna say ask each individual, but now that you ask a specific question when it comes to real estate in New York, and I guess that's something perhaps you cannot ask because I don't know if Chuck has been in New York. I don't know Orthodox has been in New York. You said you've been in New York, but I guess that's the question maybe for me. But so first of all, don't do something just because you think that's going to make you more money. Do it because you know that you want to do it, and then figure out first if it's for you. Study it first. Analyze it from your own point of view. Don't just sure, like sometimes you have to kind of dive in, but it's always good to study it and basically analyzing it, and not just do it just because so your perspective should be like you want to do it, not because it makes you money's important, but I'm just if you put yourself in situations where you only think about the money, then you're gonna fail, because your main objective is only money. And you're not knowing. You don't care. You see, me, I care about the business. Of course, I want my money, but you have to care about it. You have to, understand it. And even to me, I put so much work into it, and to me, one of the greatest things is getting great feedbacks. It makes me feel good.
Okay, and then the person says, "Hey, but Mike, how do I get the capital to start this thing? How does it work?"
Well, there's a lot of things that goes into it. That's something more like, if you let's say, for instance, like if you were great credit, it all depends which, because even if you were to say, for instance, if you were, because I know that you could get the license for the real estate business, but so let me put it like this: if you want to be independent, like me, I'm independent, like, because if you're working for a company where you're getting only a percentage, then you don't need no capital investment, because all you need is the license. You're just working for a company, and that company is only paying you a percentage for selling and they might even pay, yeah, exactly, a percentage for commission, and you don't make no money based on, only you make money when you sell the on the house.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna. These are all related questions, right? But so there's a lot. Real estate is one of those things, right? Where it's quote unquote ubiquitous when people talk about money at all, whatever you are, whether you're a dentist or whatever thing, people talk about real estate because it is, that, money, right? Versus fiat versus other things. So real estate is money, right? Just like gold is money. In other words, an asset that can, hold its value over time. And hence, there's a lot of social media influencers that say a lot of stuff about it. And I'm sure that you may be familiar with. You've heard of Grant Cardone, for example, have you?
Yeah, of course
Yes.
I have.
So what do you think of Grant Cardone? This is a question that I just got. It's an
So,
open-ended question,
a
and I'll
funny thing is that
go ahead.
I kind of dated this girl from Belarus. She's from Belarus, and she's living in Florida. We were trying to date, and she's very fucking complicated. I don't know why Belarus. No offense to Belarusian, am I saying it incorrectly? From girls from Belarus, but they often are, fuck, man. They're very complicated. I don't know why. But she's working for this guy. He has a lot of real estate business. He seems very successful. You see, what it is that he owns a lot of companies, a lot of the houses, and then he has a lot of employees. Where, see, I'm not an employee. That's the thing. So she's working on trying to get her license to work for this company, and then you basically have to meet a certain percentage, and then in order for you to, like, sell for the company. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, and then sometimes if you don't meet to a certain degree, if you don't meet the requirement, they get rid of you, and they get someone else.
I think you got a donation, Orthodox.
Oh shit. Thank you,
Just
Miss
thought
D3. I know you don't like the booty, but I think this is a good time for some intermission and an apology since I have you and Ike both here. Ike, I owe you an apology. I am so sorry for that difficulty in reading the super chat you sent a few days ago because I could not see it and I guess it glitched out where it says your banner where it says the person and then like your message was not where it was supposed to be and it was like smushed in. So I could not see it and I was just so fucking high and tired that I just missed in the chat what you and Lauren were talking about. She's like, this motherfucker can't read. But Miss D3 says, good morning, OG. Good morning, Miss D3. And guess what? It is a wonderful and good morning. So guess what we are going to have? We're going to have us a good little seal video. And let me get that pulled up for you guys now. Go ahead, Mike. That was you, Mike.
No, go ahead. The booty video.
No. Miss D3, there are things that Miss D3 likes and she does not like.
The baby seals or the cat.
Yes,
The cat. The baby seals slapping themselves like cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got her something perfect.
I look like Mike's fat cat. You have a fat cat, right, Mike? I'm sorry, OG. While you're doing your thing, go ahead, do your thing.
No, I do have a fat cat. Like I'm talking about. Oh, go ahead.
Well, okay.
This is the story of Nico, the baby seal who captured the internet's heart. But somehow everyone seems to have forgotten about him. What happened to the most adorable seal in the world? And why does he deserve more love now than ever before? Born on February 22nd, 2020, at Japan's Toba Aquarium, Nico was an instant star. As a Baikal seal, he was already special. His species is native to Lake Baikal in Russia, making him a rare sight in aquariums. But what made Nico truly unforgettable? His face, his wide eyes, round cheeks, and almost human-like expressions made him one of the cutest baby seals ever seen. From his first moments on camera, people couldn't get enough of him. His little blinks, iconic. His round face, instant meme
Hey,
material.
look at him. He looks so adorable. Look at him.
And when he learned how to flop around and play, the internet officially fell in love. In 2020, videos of baby Nico started spreading everywhere. People compared him to a stuffed animal come to life. His pictures racked up millions of views and fans from all over the world tuned in to see what Nico was up to next. He wasn't just cute, he had personality. Whether he was waddling up to trainers for food, playfully splashing around, or just staring into your soul, Nico had a way of making everyone smile.
I don't like where that's going, so I'm going to end it there. Why it's still cute.
That was cute.
Why it's still cute and pretty. I don't like the whole was train.
Are we gonna start
just
crying?
Live in denial.
Are we gonna start
No.
crying?
Nope, we don't have to cry because we don't have to finish that video. I don't like where that was going. I don't like where that was headed off to, and that seal was too cute for us to finish it.
Yeah, that language turned kind of dark real fast. That narrator.
Yeah,
I
got you.
He went dark.
I got you.
So, Mike, a lot of sorry, you're gonna play something.
Yeah, here's a better one since that one got really fucking dark.
Yuna, come.
Oh, that was adorable. That was being
really
added.
Cool. Like,
all right, go ahead, Ike and Mike.
Yeah, like
Mike and Ike.
they're like dogs.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask basically the things that you mentioned regarding,
I like your suits, by the way, and like.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Maybe one day we'll get to see you. I don't know. Maybe it has to be live since you refuse to use the camera. People have to come to New York to your big apartment before they see you, right? And then you're like, and then they see my apartment, and then all they want from me is money.
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing is, it's the internet is very dangerous, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me. There were things that you mentioned, right? I forgot the Mike Tyson's trainer's name again. Was it Gusto, or whatever? But the
Customado.
Cosmado, yeah, yes, thank you. The things along those lines, and this notion of the training the mind, the belief, that aspect, and which is introspective and so on and so on and so forth. You always has that
Pioneer.
always been? Go ahead. What did you say?
No, Customado was a pioneer with the
Mm-hmm.
boxing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he, like, so Mike Tyson's from Brooklyn, New York City,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, Mike Tyson used to be a troublemaker, but Customado, because so Mike Tyson. I don't know if you guys know about the story of Mike Tyson, but just like the thing is, Mike Tyson, he fell in love with Costumado. That was his dad. And, he would, but you see, but Mike Tyson. So another thing too, very interesting. Mike Tyson also studied Achilles. He started the Greek mythology. He studied. It's not like just, you see, like, it's not just him, like, okay, beat the shit out of the other guy. He studied the
Mm-hmm.
warriors. He knows the story about Achilles, the great warriors, you know the Romans. This dude, like, Costumado, trained them spiritually, not just physically. If you want to become something, you have to become it. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be the best at it. It doesn't. It's just that very. And it's fucking difficult. You just have to become it.
Now, a lot of the things that you mentioned dovetail with that, right? And when you mentioned this trainer about an hour ago and whatnot, right? I noted that, and I know that a lot of the things that you say regarding the mental preparation, the meditation, the belief, the wanting, and the painting of that want, perhaps even putting it in a frame, as you mentioned, which you probably literally do slash did. Um, my thing is, has that always been, because that seems to be kind of congruent with your personality. Maybe at some point you found someone that, or something that kind of helped crystallize some things for you and you put it all together. But has this always been your way, the way of the imagination, growing up? Has that been always kind of your bent, if you will?
Well, like, growing up. Uh, oh, that's a very interesting question. I feel like, I think my life is. I think I'm being interviewed. I mean, growing up was not as easy. Growing up uh, with uh, I used to see a lot of horrible shit. Like, when I growing up, like, it was my childhood memories. Not like, like, everything was great and fantastic. I mean, I see a lot of violence. Should I really should I really go on?
No, go ahead.
A lot of perception of me is like, oh, you had a great childhood. Like, it's not. That's not the case. I tend not to go into it because even on Flo's channel, even Flo didn't even believe that I got arrested because he didn't believe it because it's just because of my success. That's the misconception, because people think that just because I'm successful and I'm doing the success, that there's nothing wrong with, like, I've never had any problems. Not saying that Flo doesn't believe that everything was perfect with me. Not saying that, but people have this tendency to think that everything has to be perfect because you've been this way, and that's entirely false, extremely false. So growing up, um, and seeing New York City, and then my uncle's arrested, And like I had another uncle who stole $80,000 from me. I had a lot of shit going on. I don't know if I should get into this, man.
You don't have to get into any specifics you don't need to get into, but let me
I
tell you
just don't
something.
want- I'm
Let me,
in a
let me,
way.
you have noticed you have
I
noticed the
kind of feel
particular
bad
direction
because
of my questioning so far. When, for example, I asked about the toughness, when I asked about the dealing with people and where does the edge, blah blah blah.
yeah,
You know,
like
I
like
so when it gets to something like this, I'm not at all surprised. You know, I mean, of course not. So I
yeah,
mean, I've
it's
been pushing and alluding to these kinds of things the whole time that we've been talking, and you've been opening
no
up
one
and
ever wakes up and be
yeah.
like success and here I come. It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
You know, nowhere ever works. Wake up and be like okay, and then you jump up and then you know like 5 years later, it doesn't work like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people that do have a lot of jump start. Uh, Let me just put it like this: like Justin Bieber. Sure, no lie, he does know how to sing. It's but he comes from a successful family. I'm not saying that my dad is not successful. I'm just saying that my dad doesn't do my business and doesn't do what I do. But I'm saying, um, like how can I explain it? Like Justin Bieber, his family has money. Um, Growing up, I didn't have the money that we didn't like like we didn't have the money that I'm having now. That's for sure. You know, like
Mhm.
does that make sense?
Oh, it makes perfect sense. Makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
like it's just some people um we grow up and then um we it's extremely difficult to explain this. I've always knew that I what I wanted. Like and not always no, I'm bullshitting. I didn't always knew what I wanted, but then I was heading in the direction and knew that I wanted something better. That is there you go, nailed it. Does that make
Mhm.
sense now? Because I always
Yes,
knew
you know, because you can be influenced in the direction that you don't want to go. Because I was going to ask you something prior, and I'm just going to interject here for a second regarding um, being pulled towards something versus running away from something, like running away from hell, running away from rock bottom. You've seen shit that you don't want to go to, and
because
yeah.
I had this like I could have been into the business with drugs. I had opportunities, you know, um I remember I even had opportunities to being gang members and like I remember they offered me it was in high school like $20,000 to basically what it was is to like take 20 grand like was it 20 fuck well how much I think it was 20 or 30 grand. Anyway, the thing is that I had to take some money to cross to Mexico and then pick up the product and then come back. And a lot of the people that decided to do it, they made a lot of money, but I never had the balls to do it. I never wanted to. And then at the end, look, most of those people are either arrested or dead. You know,
Hmm.
I never had when I never had the balls to basically. I was never like the tough guy that beat up everybody. I was not like that. You know, I
Well,
mean,
I
I
was the
got
guy
into
that
fights.
I was the guy that always got beat up.
I mean, I got into a lot of fights. Don't get me wrong, but it was like like um like even in high school, I remember like the girls used to. She would talk about like how she sucked this other guy's dick, and the guy was basically selling drugs, and New York City was a special time, and in like the late 90s, 2000s.
Mm.
It's just like, and I mean, I graduated from high school. I didn't like do my GED or nothing like that. And so I studied Meisner technique. I don't know if you guys know that. I did acting courses. I was moving into a different direction. You know, when I was in the train, like I used to read a book. Others would like do rapping and shit. Like I was always like I was in a different rhythm. You know what I mean? It was just something within myself. But at the end, I made that direction. And the thing is that as I started progressing, as things started progressing, as I started losing and losing, because that's how it is. It's just like someone told me that life is just like going to the moon. Because the thing is that the mechanism of like the rocket ship, it fails its way to the moon, but it lands to the moon. It fails and fails and fails, but it redirects itself. But it just fails and fails and fails. This is another mechanism. It's called psycho-cybernetics. Do you guys aware what you guys know what psycho-cybernetics is?
Tell the back of the class.
What was that?
No, I said go ahead and explain it to the back of the class.
The psycho-cybernetics is basically it's how, like, you see how like an airplane, right? And how what you call is an autopilot. And let's just say, like, if you're trying to, from New York City and you're trying to get to Hawaii, the coordinates into an airplane, okay, it knows, and it even if it fails its way, but it still directs you into Hawaii. That's psycho-cybernetics. Our brains is the same thing. If you okay, this is the part where it's going to get complicated, and I'm going to bore everyone. Notice how, like, everyone, like, they tell you they want to lose weight and they always gain weight no matter what, or someone is like trying to tell you they want to quit cigarettes but they don't, and everybody tells you that I know, and you keep telling them the same shit, and they're like, but I know. It's not what the conscious mind knows what it wants, but it's not the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. Once again, it's just more about repetition. And then so you basically have to redirect the subconscious mind, and basically repetition.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people would tell you what they want, but they never, and this is where their self-image is. I guys, if I'm boring you, let me know, okay? Because a lot of people, the thing is the self-awareness, and basically also the self-image, and it takes a lot. It's just like, yes, D3, we cannot escape our subconscious mind, but you see, it's the reason why you cannot escape your subconscious mind is it's a part of you. But notice that it's a subconscious mind. The driving, That's the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you act. That's all in the subconscious mind. So psychocybernetics, if you know what psychocybernetics is basically that no matter how much you tell yourself, you could tell yourself, you know what? I'm not gonna cheat on my women. I'm never gonna do it. And then you come back and cheat again because you told yourself in the conscious mind, but you never reprogram yourself in the subconscious mind and also in the self image. It's almost as if someone who's trying to learn English or Spanish or Italian, whatever the fuck. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and then look at your articulate and then also look at the movement of your mouth and your tongue. And then you reprogram yourself. You see, you have to look at the brain is very powerful. If your eyes are looking at your movement, you're reprogramming yourself. It's the same thing if you tell yourself, I'm stupid, I'm fucking idiot. You know what, I'm always broke. That's another thing. You become who you are because that's the thing. You're telling yourself, you have to be very careful what you tell yourself. And that's most people, they're not aware of what they're doing. And they're damaging themselves.
Mm-hmm. So
It's
OG.
me, Ortho. I'm having
Okay.
retarded internet.
Okay.
Kick the other one out.
You know what? I let me know if I just went from.
Shut up, Mike. How many times am I gonna have to tell you? Just fucking stop and just fucking say what the fuck you're saying. You're talking to me, okay? Now, something that happened here, or let me just say a couple of things regarding what you just said, right? Because Ian McGilchrist, something about the master and the emissary, but there's another kind of good analogy, which is the elephant and the rider, where the elephant is the subconscious. You know, you're not gonna just tell the elephant like, I'm gonna stop doing X. Like, no, the elephant is in control. But to be able to develop the rider of the elephant, right, is the notion. Meaning that elephant and rider analogy is just to show who really has the power. That's the subconscious. Who's really doing the moving and all that kind of stuff. But still, the rider, you can be a rider of that elephant. And yes, that's what you're saying regarding this. What you just said, basically, right? So.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that in the same way I've been saying the other things, you know, adding to the things that you've been saying in the sense that, no, you're making perfect sense. It is understood, right? But you may go ahead, just reminding ourselves that, you know, the question I'd initially asked was, you know, this whole imagination thing, and was it naturally your path? And you've told us that coming from where you've come, you saw things that you did not want to go to. You were seeing yourself on a slightly different path. And then you learned some of these things along the way. Now I'll let you continue your flight here.
No, yeah. I mean, so I remember seeing people and like seeing their mistakes and telling myself, what can I do differently? And I would always tell myself that because a lot of the people, I've seen the consequences of every person, and I would tell myself, what could I do differently? And then so thankfully, I'm a very spiritual person. That the universe would see. I believe in the universe. The universe will submit to you when you want something, and will not fight you. Everything is here for everything is in abundance. It's like if you plant corn, the corn is going to give you. If you plant tomatoes is going to give you everything that you want. Basically, the universe is going to, grant you. Maybe the universe wants to kill me right now because I'm talking too much.
So that's Ike.
You're talking all right.
You're confusing with Ike.
The universe. And maybe you're like, you know what? I just want Ike to call me. You know what the fuck? Ike, call me. You know, stop talking enough already. Like, I miss you, right? Like,
Well, first of all, let me, just at this particular juncture here, thank you, right, because at some point earlier you were like, I can't believe I'm talking about myself this much, and I was like, I said, anyways, forget what I said, but well, we appreciate it. I know that OG has been appreciating it, and thanks for indulging my curiosity all the way from freaking business structure to meditation, being good to your future self, and all these other kinds of things that we talked around, and including taking gold diggers to your apartment.
I mean, I take in gold diggers, but go ahead, Orthodox.
I am about to get out of here because I'm a little
Mhm.
tired, but I do.
Are you getting EP?
Yeah, I'm getting EP, man. I'm getting EP as fuck. But hopefully, because I've only been sleeping 4 hours at a time. When I do sleep, hopefully I only sleep 4 hours and be able to go live again. But before I do go live in the morning or in the evening when I get up, I'm gonna go play with Tucker because he was trying to play with me under the desk a little while ago. So I'm gonna go play with him and go to bed. And I do want to say this though, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate the conversation that Ike and Mike had, because I'm just sitting here soaking it all in and I see it as mentorship, something to look at, because I've had a lot of struggle, failure, and bad shit happen in the past 2 years, and I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Sometimes you just want to give up, and sometimes you see what other people have, and it's like, well, fuck it, I'll never have that. Screw it. And you don't know the struggles and the strives that they had to make, that they had to go through to get that. So it's like, and I know that not everybody's gonna make it to be successful, even if you have your own definition of success. But part of, like, the most important part of life is, embracing that struggle and trying your best and trying to find a balance where you're also happy and able to make friends and that sort of thing. So, like, I just appreciate the conversation they were having. Like, it was really good for my heart and my soul.
Well, Donna said check Discord.
Oh yeah,
On your way to bed.
I already did, Miss Donna. She sent me. I have it pulled up already. She sent me this video for Miss D3 and the animal lovers out there, myself included, and I'm gonna play that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end it.
Okay.
That was provided to police. You're going to be glad you stuck around for this one. It's a case that illustrates how.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, I remember
An
this.
Ohio woman is facing drug charges tonight based on evidence that was provided to police by her pet raccoon. Golden Counter, captured on police body camera video. Jack Shea has a story from our sister station in Cleveland.
I'm sorry, that raccoon was
Police in
doing the
Summit
best.
County's Springfield Township have seen all kinds of unusual things over the
I remember
years.
Flo showing this now
But
too.
nothing
it's still
prepared
funny.
officers for what they
It's
found
still
during
funny
this
as
traffic
fuck.
stop on Monday.
I showed my homie, and he's like, "Look at him!"
So the reason I stopped you is you are suspended with a warrant for your arrest.
I am.
While speaking with the driver, 55-year-old Victoria Vidal Page of Akron, about an active warrant for her arrest and her suspended driver's license, a patrolman noticed something unusual in the passenger seat of her SUV. A raccoon holding a pipe allegedly used to smoke crystal methamphetamine.
The raccoon has her meth pipe.
As what?
Oh my God. Her meth pipe.
It's the
He's playing with
raccoon's
the meth
pipe.
pipe right now.
Smoking.
No, don't reach for it. That's evidence now.
After Victoria Vidal Page
That's
was
evidence
arrested on the
now.
outstanding warrant, her mother told the officers that the raccoon is their pet and his name is Chewy. When the officer took the pipe away from Chewy, the pet grabbed another pipe.
I told you.
DJ,
He's addicted.
And DJ Khaled would be like, another one. Another one. She would be like, another one.
All right.
the pet was like, "Oh, fuck that!" Like I know where she stashed the other one.
All right, enough fun and games.
Based on the evidence provided by Chewy, the officer searched the SUV and found a bag containing 7 smaller bags of crystal meth, crack cocaine, and 3 used meth pipes. Sadly, investigators say it appears Chewy the raccoon had chewed holes in the bags.
Hey, buddy.
Investigators were initially concerned about the health.
So what you saying is Chewy is lit the fuck up right there,
Well,
bro.
you took his pipe, so he had to chew it.
You wasn't wrong. You wasn't wrong, Chuck. That's an addict raccoon, bro.
But concluded he was unharmed. He was turned over to the Humane Society.
All right. Well, your raccoon gave you away.
Based on the evidence revealed by Chewy, Victoria Vidal Page is now facing charges of possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia.
That's not
Jack
right.
Shea, Fox 8 News.
I just hope that Chewy.
She took the rap for the raccoon. Damn.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's the raccoons, man, not mine.
But
that poor raccoon went into withdrawal.
I wonder what happened to the raccoon though. What happened to Chewy?
We're gonna go from left to right though. Ike, do you have any final thoughts, good sir?
Just thanks, Ortho, for hosting us, for giving me the reins from the beginning, for letting me do the Ike show where I get to interview Mike. And good stuff, Mike. Let's talk again. There's a whole lot more that I'm curious about and want to kind of discuss with you and whatnot. So we can definitely do it again, maybe on another OG panel when the crazies are not around or some shit. But
that would be based.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Ike. I appreciate you. Chuck, do you have any final thoughts, good sir?
Yeah, I shouldn't have talked so much and hogged the time up.
You didn't say anything.
I know, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was a damn good lesson.
Only thing that could have made it better was some of your insight. I'm being for real.
Well, Ike was trying to get a roll going. I didn't want to interfere with. I seen what he was doing, so I was trying to let him cook.
Well, I was talking to my mom about, because she's like, who do you stream? I'm like, well, sometimes like late at night, Mike comes on. I was telling him about a little bit everybody who comes on panel, and I was like, I like the lessons that I learned from all the people that come on, especially you three. Because I'm like, Mike is very wealthy and good at business. Chuck is a very intelligent man and a family man. And Ike is like super intelligent. I think that I like being the dumbest person in the room when they're around because I can learn a lot from them. So
I just got years of experience is the only thing I got.
that counts. So that's the most important thing. All right, Chuck.
All right, I'm out.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Thank you, Chuck.
Mike.
You're welcome, Mike. If I can find the damn button. Here we go.
Last but not least, Mike, do you have any final thoughts? Good sir.
Yeah. No, so like I appreciate always you. You know, I appreciate it always. And the one thing I have to say, like my weakness is sometimes I do have to admit sometimes I do apologize a lot, and sometimes I think just because I'm very humble. But
I do think you're very humble and kind, and you do tend to let people speak over you, and you do tend to apologize. But there's nothing wrong with that. You have a spine. You have a backbone. I've seen you also go in and fucking demolish people like Paul. I've seen you when people are fucking with you on flows fight back. You're just a very kind person, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
Appreciate it.
But if you want to finish your thought, I apologize for interrupting.
No, you don't have to apologize to me. I just want to say you have greatness within you, and you have powers within you, and I have so much respect to you that I wouldn't even bullshit you. I would never lie. The very people that are very appreciative of you is going to be straight up like me. I'm going to be like as I'm trying to be. you're an intelligent person. You have a lot of great powers.
Thank you, Mike. That means a lot. I hope one day that I can see what you guys see in me. And I hope, because I am improving in my life ever since the positivity and speaking to guys like y'all, and it makes me very happy. There are still some improvements that I got to work harder on, and I am starting to feel better in general, able to do those things. But I'm gonna get out of here, Mike. I appreciate you.
It's like 5:30 in my time. What time is it for you, Orthodox?
Me and you're both East Coast.
Oh yeah, right. That's true.
Because I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. So it's time to say goodbye, everybody. But you know what, Orthodox, thank you, and once again, thank you for being a friend.
Always, man.
For being on a good side. Because you could have been in Paul's side. You could have been it could have been like the other side around. You could have been in like Snafu and all those Imperius and all these fucking guys that are just talking shit and they're not going anywhere in their lives and blaming everybody else. But you're not that type of person.
Fair enough, and hopefully I never will be. But I'm gonna do my monologue, Mike, and
all right,
head out. You have a good
all
one.
Right.
Please come back to the next time I stream. I think you sent me a message on Discord. I will start messaging you because I know sometimes you run late. So if you're available, I'll just message you whenever we do it. Because I know the past 3 streams you're like, damn it, I missed it, and you was like, let me know. So I will let you know. But I'm gonna do my monologue and. Thank you for coming up, Mike. It's always a treat to talk to you.
Appreciate it. Good night.
Good night. All right, everybody. I'm tired. I'm not trying to run everybody off. I do apologize. I appreciate all of your support. I appreciate everything y'all do. I appreciate the time we spend together. I'm just getting so fucking eepy. And I enjoyed the conversation Mike and Ike had. And I think it was cool as hell. I like when Ike comes in and is like, "Hey, I want to have a conversation," because like we wound up having really deep conversations when Ike does that, and that shit is so cool to me, especially smoking the joint and relaxing when it's so hot out here now, and being able to chill and talk to people. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see all you beautiful people getting along and chatting it up. And I'm really proud of the community that we've created. And hopefully we grow, but we're growing stably so we don't have a bunch of crazies come in and ruin the vibe. And I like that. But God bless you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm going to go to eat, but I'm going to play with Tucker first. Good night.
Hatred and violence that they keep and everything is there was me, the dynamics, and my 3 Jews, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dylan.